To you.
From a particular point of view. I'm sorry, a certain point of view.
That man never played N64 in his life.
Mm.
All right. And there are tweets telling people things.
Oh, yeah. I just got it.
People will be welcome if they want to do something about it. That's on them. It's not up to me anymore. All right. Somebody texted me now. Anyway, what's today? 26th?
It is.
It is the 26th.
Mm-hmm. Okay. For a couple-ish more hours.
All right. It's Wednesday, September 26th. It's GameEnthus Podcast, episode 355. I'm one of the hosts here. Aaron. Mike is here. We can't see you.
Hey, I am here.
Is your camera on? Because you look like Keith Courage right now.
I could turn on a camera that's not connected to the computer, and it wouldn't have anything to do with the show, but I could do it.
That wouldn't really help us now, would it?
No, and that is the point.
That is the point. All right. Well, Tiny's back this week.
Hey, I am back, and I have a camera.
Hey, so do I. This is what I look like.
And I have significantly less hair than I had last week.
The funny thing is,
the same amount of hair that I had last week.
I don't see Tiny or Aaron's cameras at all.
Well, that's weird.
That's weird. You mean
just
the actual?
Just as an
you mean like the actual cameras?
I see one video. Junae really? Is the only video that I see.
Really?
Yep.
Don't know why. Don't ask how Mike has.
It's fine.
Yeah, don't ask how Mike has.
Show. I don't need to see. We did this for years without it. I'll be fine.
You want to go back to that? Anyway, enough about us. Junae is joining us again this week. Welcome, Junae, to the show.
Hi.
How are you doing? How's that pizza?
It's pretty good. Spicy Italian, thin crust, tomatoes, chunks of tomatoes really giving it that flavor.
Sounds like a winner.
But this isn't a pizza connoisseur show. This is a...
But it could be if we tried hard enough.
I'm here for that.
We could make it.
We got to pivot.
I'm here for that.
So it's been a good couple of months since you've been on the show. So give us an update on what you've been up to as of late.
Oh my goodness, I moved.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Still in the same city, but I did move. And then the last time, Comic-Con. It was May, because we were talking to Ducky, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. What have I been up to? I started streaming again.
Oh, good stuff.
Okay. I started doing my this week in gaming video segment again, accompanied with Junaeology, which is just pretty much like my raw emotions and what I think. And it's not as raw as like you think, like when you think of like Eddie Murphy or something. It's not like that, but I feel like this week in gaming is something I used to market myself, and I didn't want to put all of me out there like that. And Junaeology is just like if you and I are talking and I'm like, listen, that's a dumb idea. So I started doing those things, and that's it. That's all I got.
Okay. Wow. All right. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Mike, what are you almost caught up on?
What?
It says almost.
Yeah. All right. So I, as I mentioned, like in the last couple of shows, been catching up on the MCU movies, and I've caught up on everything that is available on video, which means no Ant-Man and Wasp, but I am through Infinity War at this point. So somehow or another, I was not spoiled by the ending of that movie, but I've seen it now, and I guess we will wait and see. For anybody else who hasn't seen it, I don't want to spoil it for them either, but not what I thought was going to happen, but
really?
Not really, not exactly. I mean, I certainly saw the speculation before the movie came out about who may or may not live or whatever, but that is not how I assumed things were going to end.
I think we're kind of past the stat. I feel like if you haven't seen that movie,
no.
Like,
believe me, I literally just watched.
You don't want
like
to see that movie.
It is not that Like we're not talking about like Friday the 13th Part 6, where Tommy sticks the pitchfork in the ground and brings Jason back.
Lightning hits it. Yeah.
Right. Like that's
my thing. If Jason was dead and buried, why dig him up? Like that's just like why he was in the ground. I'm sorry. That always.
It's the only way to have another movie. That's why.
Good point. Yeah.
So it's just the ending of Thor was good. Black Panther was a good movie. It is probably one of the most standalone movies in the entire MCU. And after what happened in Infinity War, it kind of makes me scratch my head and go, well, if that's the way things go, then I'm not sure what's going on at all. But, sure, we'll see. I don't know.
I did have a coworker ask me, so that guy that was at the end of a Black Panther, was that Thor? I was like, no.
Oh,
I was like, no, that's not Thor.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, I will say when I saw that clip, I had to go back and rewatch the ending of Civil War though to be like, wait a minute, what happened? Oh, okay, cool, I got it now. Moving forward, so I did that before watching Infinity War, so I had at least a little bit of like context again.
Okay. That helps. Context is always good.
It helps, but I thought this mostly during Ragnarok, but also the significant scene with Thor in Infinity War. I feel like if there was a way for Monolith to take the Shadow of series into the MCU and say the third game is a Thor game, that would be fantastic. The amount of like moves.
You'd play a Thor game?
Oh, 100%. Like, I've already played a game and a half of a guy who's completely made up for a game in the Middle Earth universe. So if you give me all the powers that I now know that Thor has, and I can obliterate like the Land of the Dead dudes as much as I want, just like the Uruks from the Shadow of games, fantastic. Give me all those powers and let me obliterate an entire like level of beings that don't matter. Because like they turned him up to 11. To make it stupid, they turned it up to 11. That dude had more power than I ever even knew. It was fantastic.
You're not the god of hammers.
That's right. Oh, also, and I'll preface this by saying, if you haven't seen them, this is definitely spoiler territory. But when they revealed that, or I should say when Odin told Thor that he was Dumbo, I was like, dude, fantastic. We can move on from here.
They're remaking Dumbo, by the way.
They are. I've heard
it
many people tell me about it. I have zero. I don't care. I have zero interest.
Junae, have you seen the trailer for Dumbo, the live action Dumbo?
Mm-mm. You said too much.
Oh
wait.
Okay. It's real.
I think so. I think on accident I've seen it, but I haven't been a fan of live action Disney movies.
Oh, okay. So you didn't like Beauty and the Beast either?
It was very creepy, and I was already scared of the original Beauty and the Beast, so it wasn't.
That was the one that I saw. I liked that. Okay, it was fine.
I love the cartoon. I know it by heart, so it's just
But like the live action, it's.
I'll say that one worked better than I anticipated it to be. But The Lion King,
I'm so hyped for that. Like, I don't even care.
I don't know how. I can't.
I mean, you saw Jungle Book, right?
Imagine. No, I didn't see Jungle Book, but like trailers and stuff. I was like, I don't get it. And they're gonna make it like less human. How's this gonna work? How is it live action if there's nothing live? I don't get it.
All the creatures, it's like Jungle Book. They all look like real creatures, but they'll be
But
animated.
they're not live. It ain't live action.
Are you
It's
talking
just a
about Lion
CG
King?
movie.
Because all they had to say was Donald Glover, and I was in. And then they said Beyonce, and I was like, "Oh, dope!" Like I just don't
And then they threw in
understand how
John
they can
Oliver
mess it up.
as Zazu.
Oh,
Zazu.
Take my wallet.
yes.
There you go.
Exactly. Just I'll go see it 4 times. Here you go. I'm just gonna be in the theater for 4 days.
When
I live
does
here.
that come out? This year? Next year?
I don't know.
I think maybe I don't know. They have Nutcracker this fall.
Nutcracker.
Yeah,
A Disney version?
Oh,
This
I
is
just saw
Disney's
that.
Nutcracker.
I went to go see My Hero Academia,
Mhm.
2 Heroes yesterday, and I saw the trailer. So yeah,
It's
they
like
do.
they're adding a bunch of stuff to it. There's some evil, you know. They're adding a bunch of stuff to the story of Nutcracker. So it's not.
An additional rat.
Hopefully, it'll work out better than that subplot in Beauty and the Beast where Gaston kidnapped the dad and was gonna kill him and let wolves eat. It was just bad.
I apparently missed a lot in Beauty and the Beast because all I remember liking about that was the John Legend Ariana Grande version of one of the songs, and that's about all I remember from that.
I didn't really, honestly, I didn't think the actress who, you know, I'm gonna call her Hermione. I know it's not her name, but I didn't think
Emma Watson.
I don't think Emma Watson. She wasn't beauty to me. Nah. I wasn't buying it.
They did her bogus. Did you see her Barbie doll? They did her bogus.
Ooh, yeah, it was.
I didn't
They did her bogus.
It was a
I don't
weird.
know why
face,
they
like,
would do that.
Is that so they
Yeah.
can keep selling it after they lose Emma Watson's rights?
Clearly.
Probably because it didn't. Yeah, it was. I mean, you could tell it was her. But it's like y'all don't like her, do you?
Yeah.
You don't
They
like
could have did so
her.
much better. Like
This is
they
a
could have did
mistake.
so much better. I thought it was so rude. I was like, well, y'all rude.
If you didn't want to hire her, just don't hire her. But
Right. You ain't got to do that to her. Poor girl.
ouch. All right, so Mike, you're caught up then.
Yeah, other than, I guess, Ant-Man Wasp comes out, somewhat soon on video, so maybe I'll see that, too, eventually.
And then Captain Marvel in March, and then Infinity War.
Yeah, next year, though. That's, many months away. 5 months, I guess.
there's only,
Fly real fast.
There's only 6 weeks in between Captain Marvel and the second Infinity War movie. It's March, and then I think May, the first weekend of May.
Wow. Wow, that is, I
trailer
didn't
looks-
quite realize.
No, young Sam Jack looks like young Samuel Jackson.
Yeah, I guess.
Him,
Sort of.
Coulson got de-aged.
They added some hair to Coulson so he could,
So
edges was kind of, not that I can talk. So I'm just saying.
That's your next cosplay? Is that what you're saying?
No, I don't cosplay. I'm Aaron 24 hours a day. I don't play games.
Cosplay as yourself.
I see people with these elaborate things. You have to commit for that, and you can't even enjoy yourself. You holding a 20-foot sword. Nah, I'm good.
Sometimes you can enjoy it. Sometimes.
I saw about that guy years ago at PAX. He had a real good Gordon Freeman, and I could see it was in the lobby, PAX East. He's looking at the bathroom. He's walking towards it. He got stopped 12 times. Man, he's wanted to go to the bathroom. That's all he wanted to do. He couldn't make it, man.
Well, you know that guy that dresses up as Tiny. What is the Pokemon's name at MagFest?
Snorlax?
Snorlax.
Snorlax at MagFest?
That dude commits the moment he decides to do this because there's no turning back. There's no visit in the bathroom.
No.
It's
It's like that
he
Bumblebee.
gets inside of a gigantic monster.
But they know that. They got to know that going into it. Or they make a way.
But
People, just like Gordon Freeman, nobody will let him make that. Oh, you mean in secret.
Yeah.
All right.
There's
You just
that
sweat out
Snorlax
the
one.
urine. You just
That Snorlax one has an infrastructure inside of it. He's oof. Yeah, I mean, he also only wears that for 20 minutes at a time, and he will go get out of that.
But it takes 18 and a half minutes
to get
on.
in it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
it's
a
a
little
commitment, and I respect it. It's cool. It's just
yeah.
I just put on a shirt and some jeans, and that's
I'm here to judge your indie games. I mean, what? Actually,
Does that sound like something I would do?
100%.
Right.
Isn't that why we go to MadFest?
Yeah, that is the sole reason why. That's true. So, Tony, what have you been up to?
I saw Solo yesterday.
Okay.
I really liked it.
So
I don't
did
understand. I don't understand the the
People hated it.
Now, granted, I didn't see it in theaters, so maybe I was part of the problem. But I thought it was real good.
Junae, you were a fan?
I didn't see it.
Oh. Wait a minute. Like, you had an immediate reaction, like, oh, okay.
Yeah, because I wanted to. Donald Glover was in it. I just saw him in concert. He broke his foot.
Yeah, I heard he was at the show. That's where he broke it? Wow. But they said it ended half an hour early. Was it really half an hour?
Yeah, well,
Okay.
I wasn't at the show where he broke his foot, but I went to his concert, and he has like an encore where he comes out and does, favorite songs, and I guess he didn't get to do that part of it, which happens to be about 30 minutes. But when I saw him in concert, which is supposed to be his last one, we're going to go back to talking about Solo.
No, that's cool. I'm a fan, so
he raises up on this platform, and then he jumped off, and I was like, bro, you got 2 kids. So
like
when I heard he broke his foot, he's 32. It doesn't even matter how old he is. So when I heard he broke his foot, I was like, yeah, you're jumping off stuff like you're young, not like that's what you get, but I'm like, I'm not surprised, but like, dang. So yeah.
I saw him 2 or 3 years ago. It was good. It was a dope show. It was good.
At 2-3 years ago in California.
No, it was.
I feel
Baltimore.
like you would go to California. Okay.
No, I'm not flying to California to go to a show. I drove a half an hour to go to Baltimore.
And it was also in the desert. It was in the desert, so you had to like camp out or whatever. So I figured.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, even like the whole all day concert thing. I'm like, I don't live that life.
Me
I
neither.
can't be 12 hours just sweating in the field. No, I'm good, man. What time is so and so gonna be
I feel
on?
like we're past that. Okay, there have been some emancipation and proclamations, so you don't have to do that. So like,
you like, oh, Erica's there, the Roots are there, Common's there. They like great. Tell me when they're all going to be on. Because
yeah,
if not,
you gotta plan that. Like, if I ever go to Coachella, I'm gonna be like probably 2 people a day. I'm gonna go see this. I'm gonna go see that, and then I'm going back to wherever I am.
My experience with shows is they never want to tell you what is specific until the moment of.
Right.
They want you to see all these acts that kind of weaseled their way into getting involved. Like, who's this?
One song, yeah, we're good.
I don't know.
One song.
Yeah.
We did see Lauren, and she was almost on time, so that was
that's
cool.
Great. That's great. That's great. I would never go pay to see her though.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know. Okay, here's the thing. I had a Groupon. They were $20 tickets.
Ooh.
And I'm glad because all those rearrangements are all whack. Like I don't think I like one rearranged song. And
I remember this now.
All of them. What album is this? It was nuts. I heard, but I was like, okay, she gonna at least like have one original track. Nope, not one. Oh, Lauren. Anyway, so
I'll go pay to see Erykah Badu.
I would pay to see Erykah. I would.
But Solo, I went to the Disney store and they have him on a cup. It was pretty cool. Like they're really hyping that up, but I don't know if it's just maybe the crowd who was interested in Solo and who saw it in theaters weren't interested in the cast or they weren't interested in the movie because it didn't do so well, but I don't feel like I can get a solid answer as to why. And my only movie that I can ever think of where I'm like, yo, people didn't like it and they probably don't even know why is Great Gatsby. When Jay-Z did the soundtrack. And I was like, because it's the same Great Gatsby, But did you guys not like the music?
This is the one Baz Luhrmann directed?
I don't know.
I think that's the one. I enjoyed it. It was cool.
Orlando Bloom? Leonardo.
Yeah. I was about to say
DiCaprio.
So
he was the one who was in that one. So yeah,
that was fun. But as far as Solo, I think Last Jedi was very polarizing, and coming up 6 months right after that, I think they need to give people some more time, and they didn't.
Yeah,
and
I think that's part of it, but also
that's part of it.
there were 3 movies that came out like back to back. Like it was Solo, Ready Player One, and Pacific Rim 2. I picked Pacific Rim 2 to go see.
Yeah, I did too. My dog thinks kaiju, so I couldn't be a traitor.
Yeah, like they're never making that 3rd movie. But
it did terribly.
They're never making that.
Yeah, that's not a bad thing. I felt like if they had ended it at 1, I would have been happy. But,
and to your point, if Pacific Rim 2 did terribly, I don't think that's the reason why Solo didn't do so well.
No,
well, but it's not that. But it's also so. There's a 4th movie that came out that would have fallen into like the geek cred one. That Tomb Raider movie came out also that time. I think it came out the same weekend as one of them.
Okay, all right. So now you're right. It's like splitting the vote between a 3rd and a 4th party candidate somehow.
That didn't even count.
I mean, I get like to a degree it probably makes some difference, and I have also alluded to the general concept of the backlash from Last Jedi, because as I mentioned many times, I didn't like it. But I think more than anything, it is Star Wars fatigue. There's just too many movies too close together when you're dealing with something that is from so far ago.
What do you think made them do that, like back to back? Because I feel like they could have waited. Because I feel like there was Rogue One, Black Jedi, Solo.
I think they look at Marvel and they say, "Look, we can release 3 Marvel
it's not
movies
even
a year.
like that. You know,
no problem."
I mean?
Well, they learned.
That's because Marvel is huge.
Exactly.
It's huge, and there's so many stories to tell. Star Wars, you're going to have to keep going down the line, and then go back, and then now, like, Solo might get his own movie where he actually, we're like, not Solo.
Lando.
Yeah,
thank
you. That ain't happening, though.
But, like, he's one of the best parts of that movie.
But it's because he's a part of it. Like, would you want to watch, like, a Lando / Shaft movie?
If I watch, the funny thing is, like when you see Donald Glover come on, oh man, when you see Donald Glover come on, and originally I think he's just doing a comedy routine for the original Lando because like just how over the top he is, but like it's really good, and then at the point that I'm not sure if he's having relations with his robot that dies.
Yeah, that was weird. He was real. He was really,
but at one point he's like, my mom's the strongest person. I'm like, wait, is his robot his mom? I'm confused. Like, what's going on here?
He was just very connected to it.
So it was pretty much Troy from Community in a cape?
Yeah, pretty.
That's probably what they told him to do. And I don't mean to do that and be like, John Glover is not a bad actor, but like, why would you... And he's someone who's like a fan of Star Wars. Mm-hmm. So like, I don't think he would purposely like F it up. But if they're like, do this, he's probably like, okay,
Is Abed here? I don't like, okay.
Maybe that was his robot, right?
Like, it seemed like he was doing Lando from like an SNL skit, at least the start. Like he's talking about it. Because like, if you want to look at another one where like Donald Glover shows up and you didn't know about it until he showed up, him in Homecoming is great. And he's Aaron Davis. He's the Prowler, in theory, assuming that he's a bad guy. Like that's who he's supposed to be.
His character in Homecoming was somebody of significance in the comic.
He's a named comic book character.
Dude, I stared at that scene and I was just like, why did they get a big name actor to play this part? Because it makes no sense.
He's Miles Morales' uncle. He would be the Prowler in the comic book series. He would be the reason Miles Morales gets his powers.
Okay. So. Well, they didn't even hint at that in the movie.
The only thing they hint about is when he's like, "Oh, I have a nephew that lives by here," and you're like, "I know who he's talking about."
Right, he's talking about Miles.
He's talking about Miles Morales.
See, that's over the head of somebody that didn't read the comics. So
we should have read every Spider-Man comic before you walked into that theater, man.
Pretty much.
If that's the prerequisite, I don't watch that movie.
And technically, you actually should have read all the Ultimate comics, which are a completely different comic line.
Not going to happen.
So anyway, I enjoyed Solo, though it seems weird that I think the Millennium Falcon now has a conscience, if you follow. What happens by the end of that movie?
Flowing through its circuits.
Inside of it or something? Like, what is this?
There's something, a robot that seems to be demonstrating free will gets put put into the Millennium Falcon. So the one drawback, like the biggest drawback on Solo, is it's wholly a movie to tell you about how Han Solo got stuff. Like, it's like, oh, this is where Han Solo's gun came from, and this is where the Millennium Falcon came from, and this is how he got named Han Solo, which seemed very random.
One of the issues with the movie was like he didn't earn that swagger. Like, he was so cocky, but they never really.
He's 100% a good guy. Like, he's 100% like not like the rogue that he's supposed to be.
If you had all that cockiness after all the things that happened in that movie, I could see it. But like, he was like bluffing on nothing so much, like, to get through it.
So he's just a poser.
He's definitely faking it till he made it.
Yeah.
So
and
on the other hand,
from your description, having not seen the movie, it sounds like he was continuing to fake it throughout the rest of the Star Wars movies because he was not the scoundrel he purported himself to be.
There's definitely a piece there. I honestly
have a reputation, man. That's, you know.
Khaleesi was like the more like
then
character.
Movie, like, opened up a can of worms. It's like, how will you ever explain this?
I mean, she works for a bad organization. They killed people. Like 5 people in that organization died in that movie.
Yeah, it was interesting. Oh,
she died off screen.
He said the Lando movie could easily be as good as Guardians of the Galaxy. He said the comedy would be perfect. I wish. You know, I'd like to see a Lando movie. I just don't think it's gonna happen.
I don't think they're gonna make a Star Wars comedy movie. Like, I think they'd be like, no, this is super serious. So.
Honestly, I feel like that's a good way to go with Star Wars at this point. Just turn it all into just jokes and ridiculousness, because that's all it is now anyway.
Do you know where blue milk comes from? Anyway.
Yeah, why not? Just show us everything we don't want to ever see.
And the fact that creature, like, turned and looked, that was just so weird. Like, who thought of this?
Yeah.
It just looked like... Okay. Yeah. I was like, wow, okay.
So I really enjoyed Solo. I also watched The Dragon Prince.
Yes, my kids have watched it like 8 times.
I have not.
You should watch it. It's really
I'm
good.
waiting.
I'm gonna say it's my only reservation with watching it is I hate when it has the slowdown. Like, there's literally frame rate issues.
I don't think I noticed it.
So I started Googling it, and they're like, "Oh, it was an artistic choice." I'm like, "It just looks like you sucked at rendering this. Like, like it just looks like people are talking and nothing's moving on the screen now." And I'm like, "That's so weird," because like there's things I like about it, and I'm like, "This is." I hate to be a snob, but like this really sucks. So,
That's
not
like how you do slow mo.
It's not. Like, it's almost as if they wrote more words for the scene than they animated the scene for. And they're like, oh, I guess we need to fit this in, so let me just hit
Stretch
that.
it out by slowing the frames down a little.
And it's like, no, what? So I'm still going to keep going through it. I think the aunt seems like a really cool lady, and she has a, like, shield spear thing that's awesome. So
she's dope. So,
yeah,
it's good watching it. Yeah, it's good. It's not. Here's the thing. It's not Avatar Korra good, because that's tough to do. It's still good and worth watching though. So I hope you watch it.
That's funny.
I will continue. I also started Jack Ryan.
I'm good
on Amazon. Yeah, I love the topical nature they're going with. Like, oh, people are talking through video games and they can't check the chat. Like, yep, was effective last time around. Or last generation. Anyway. And then finally, the last thing I'll talk about, I got an external drive for my PS4, and that sucks because it just randomly disconnects. And apparently, it is a problem that a lot of people have.
Yep.
No, I didn't know that was a thing.
Yep. And
I
didn't use mine. No, I don't know, because I barely use it. It's just plugged in, and then I'll notice that it'll make like that sound or it'll turn off, and I was just like, what the heck is that? And so I can believe that.
So it seems like it has something to do with, especially if your PS4 goes into rest mode, it's not properly telling USB devices how to turn off, so it's like it just kind of stops.
That I've like, while using it, I've never had a problem, but when I put the PS4 into rest mode and bring it back, terribly often it'll be just like, hey, terrible problem. We need to like
fix the drive,
fix your hard drive because it's broken.
Right. It's such a. I'm like, why? And it'll stop. I'll be in the middle of playing Spider-Man, and it'll just like, yep. And now I'm playing that on the internal drive, but I have stuff downloading in the background, so it's like.
That I've never seen. When I'm using my PS4, I've never seen an error with the external drive. Just when I come back from rest mode.
Yeah, no, it pops up when I'm playing. So I don't. It's so weird. So I'm just gonna have to upgrade the internal drive. But
that's all I did.
I'd be happy to do that. It's just a hassle of transferring everything over.
Yeah,
I just don't want to. I just don't want to do it.
Well,
just stop playing video games.
I will happily.
Just pour water on everything and
pour water.
Put bologna in the disc tray.
Like a round slice of bologna.
Did you see that tweet of the little boy who was like, what if we put a slice of turkey in the DVD and it plays the whole life of the turkey backwards?
I did not see this.
I heard. I didn't see it, but I heard somebody.
I was like, okay, your kid's gonna be a great writer.
Like that is fantastic imagination. But don't ever touch my PlayStation again, please.
Yeah, or a nightmare for customer service.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what happened. I thought
peanut butter came with the system.
But the thing is, like, they just announced Red Dead's going to be over 100 gigs on the console. So
wow.
Maybe now that I've matured in my gaming life, I can appreciate Red Dead, but I never liked it.
That's the other thing, and we've been having this talk in our GameEnthus chat, like text chat. I don't think half of us actually finished the game.
I barely played it, but yeah, I still have aspirations to.
Like 2 hours, 3 hours, maybe. I'm tired of riding. It's just too slow for me. Like if I want to play GTA and I can jump in a car at any given time, I'm not jumping on a horse. Let's forget it.
No, Aaron, come on. You're not finishing any GTA games either. We know this.
That's what I'm saying. If I won't do that with a car or a plethora of cars, I'm not finishing anything with a horse.
And I thought it was going to be like Assassin's Creed, but in the West. And then when I was playing, I was like,
Yeah. I mean, hey, somebody will enjoy it. That just won't be me. Yeah, that's cool. You know, people can.
Yeah, and obviously with the sequel coming up, I've been thinking about it a lot more. But one of the Bombcast or Beastcast or whatever show, it was probably Dan Reichert. I don't remember which one. One of them mentioned a scenario where they were playing and they whistled for the horse and it jumped off of a cliff to try to get to them. And when I heard that, I'm like, I just got to play this game. I gotta mess around with the physics and just see more of this game itself. Like to the point where I put the disc in my Xbox, I just haven't gotten any further than that. But I want to play it, even if it's like during Extra Life. I want to play Red Dead.
See, I was thinking for your Extra Life stuff. I have the Thor 360 game. You could play that, Mike. Like
I also could go and get a copy of Thor for the DS made by Way Forward for less than $4 and show up Aaron, but I will not be doing that.
That's what this is all about, showing me up.
That's a reference to.
That is a stupid inside joke that no one should get, and it means nothing.
But it's hilarious. So, yeah. Well,
but it's not the Thor game that I want to play. I want to play Shadow of Thor, made by Monolith Games.
Gotcha. So, Aaron, what about you, bud? I don't believe this first line item.
Oh, okay.
I don't believe it.
Yeah, a coworker of mine. I went over to he and his fiance's house Sunday, and we played some board and card games.
And then you woke up.
What
from
are
your fever dream.
never mind.
Yeah,
never mind. I thought you said car. I was like, what are card games?
It's like,
like
you know the game Carmageddon? You basically take that premise, but you do it in real life.
I don't. Now we're in another conversation that I don't know about. No, I do not.
I'm not a party of this.
Well, that was a terrible joke, but Carmageddon is a game where you just run over people.
Yeah, I thought you were going to go with Rocket League, maybe. Like, we all got in.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
Played soccer with our cars.
Less murder.
That seems difficult to play. But
It is.
You're right, but the one where you randomly drive over pedestrians, that one, hey, go for it.
That's the go-to reference.
So yeah, I was at a coworker's house playing. I told him, I was like, yeah, I don't really like at work. I go to work and I go home. I don't really. So it was kind of a big deal. My wife kept making fun of me. You're going to a coworker's house? I'm like, yes. Really? I'm like, yes. So she's messing with me. She just,
Wait a minute. So you were invited to a coworker's house without your family to play games.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Just making sure I'm keeping up.
Well, what part of that is like where's the issue? That's what I'm asking. Like, what's
was it like coworkers only? Don't bring your family. That would be uncool.
But like, if his family doesn't play, like clearly, if his wife was like poking fun at him, she probably didn't want to go anyway.
Well, I guess that's a reasonable way to look at it.
Like, it wasn't. Well, I mean, the one guy was supposed to bring his wife, but she didn't come. There wouldn't be any other kids there, so my kids would have been playing with each other, or breaking something, and we don't want that. But it wasn't really.
That's true. No,
I mean, it was fine. They had stuff to do with the house, so I just But it was fun. But it was fun. It was cool.
I mean, Aaron's going to be coming down here to play, and I don't think the rest of the clan is going to come down. So
no, but you have met my family, and they're nice people.
I was just hoping you had like another birthday party story to tell me, because I was really interested. I was like, are there any other kids that are acting crazy?
No, there was nothing. I wish. The 9-year-old had a birthday in late August, but there was nothing that really happened. That was that one for the 12-year-old. That was
amazing.
It's funny because she starts school and I ask her is that kid in your class? Oh, she's in my class. I'm like, oh, great. Every time she mentions it, I just make a face like, I'm thinking about that omelet she ain't eat, pizza.
Man, you should save that in like a bag.
Now you know that like when she is around, you just get to feed her like peanut butter crackers, because you're gonna be like, hey, you want this instead?
You're not wasting my food. Actually, you know what? My goddaughter, my goddaughter was at the 9-year-old's party, and we got some wings. We got some pizza and wings and stuff. And I looked down at her plate, and like she took like she had like 8 wings that were like a third of the way eaten. I got on her for like about 2 hours because I'm like, yo, I like these wings.
Right.
Eat them.
And how old is she?
7 or 8.
You're too much. You know they don't eat food at that age unless it's
I said, that's cool. I said, you know what? I said, you get 1 wing, and when you finish that one, you get another one. Don't get like 5 and like poke at it, because I like wings.
I'm more impressed that someone could do that. Like, no, you just eat wings. Like, what? Like, eat pieces? No, not that. Like, only eat a portion of a wing. Like, I don't want to.
She's 7.
I understood.
Oh yeah, no.
I haven't been 7 for quite some time.
I mean, it was in love, but I had to get up. Like, yo, next time, like, don't get 5 wings and halfway eat them. Get like 1 or 2, and nurse them. But don't waste my wings. I like these.
At some point in every person's life
of them
who eats chicken wings, they need to be reminded, hey, listen, I know you took a bite and you thought you were done, but there's plenty of meat still on that bone. Don't throw that in the trash.
That's funny.
Well, I took a picture of it. Good. Because when her mama came, I was like, look what your child did. That picture, like, right there, here are the wings. It's fine. It's all good. It's all in love. We talked about this a little bit earlier, but did everybody see the Bumblebee trailer?
Yes.
I did see
Yes, I did.
The most recent one.
I just saw it yesterday.
The most recent one.
Okay, Junae, what are your thoughts?
I don't know if it's the most recent one. Oh, it has to be. Because I went to the movie theater and I saw it.
Recently.
The one that makes sure that you know that Bumblebee is not the only Transformer in the movie.
Yeah, they show a bunch of other Transformers in this.
Hologram Optimus Prime.
Yeah, they show like OG Gen 1, like, wow, that's Optimus. Like, it was, wow. I'm like, as the resident Transformers like guru.
Pretty close enough. I won't.
I saw the one where he looks like Herbie. That's the one I saw.
Yeah, okay, but that's the first one. They released the new one.
Okay.
Well, they definitely try to show you like, hey, we remember the Gen 1 Transformers. Here's some of them.
Haley Steinfeld only has 2 musical numbers in this trailer. So
Who?
The main female, or the main, actually really only person that you see in that whole you see John Cena, but Haley Steinfeld is the
Cena. No, you don't see John Cena.
I was gonna make that joke too. I was like,
You don't.
But I don't quite understand the whole why is John Cena invisible?
Because he does this thing and you can't see me. Like, it's like a threat. It's not a
literal thing. It's a, you can't see him figuratively. You cannot compete. You cannot
you're not on his level.
Oh, okay. So it's not literally. It's not like Drax, no,
he does not have a cloak of invisibility when he comes into the room.
I'm eating shit so slowly that you cannot see me. So anyway,
but I just don't get what they're going for. Like this,
isn't this a soft reboot? Like, isn't this?
It is.
Like super soft. It has all of the feel of another terrible Michael Bay Transformers movie, but in a story and time that doesn't jive with all the rest of them.
Because it's like what the Predator tried to do. Like, hey, it's a sequel, but it's not. But it's
not a sequel. This takes place years, decades before any of the other ones. But somehow they're already here.
So that girl is dead in the other Transformers movies, is what you're saying.
Yes, that makes sense.
I guess. I mean, I'll assume
like she might have some great kids.
Or she went the same way that Shia LaBeouf did. Like, he's not dead in the other movie, the later movies.
He may as well be dead. Let's be honest.
He's just not there. So I don't know.
He jumped up and clicked his heels and disappeared into the ether. That's all that matters. I don't get it. Like, it's Bumblebee versus all of the Decepticons.
And he's going to win because
that's the weird part. Well, he's going to win because he has the heart.
That's stupid.
That's the whole.
Can we just club him over the head and let the Earth die if that's what's supposed to happen?
100% going to win because he's got the touch. He's got the power.
Sure.
Yeah.
If Stan Bush shows up and starts playing a guitar, I'll give you $4 on a second run deal, and I'll see that. I don't care. The movie looks terrible. The whole premise sounds stupid as hell, and if they're gonna try to win me over as like a classic '80s fan by showing me a Shockwave that looks like Shockwave and an Optimus Prime that looks a bit more like Optimus Prime, no, that's not enough. It's still stupid.
Yeah, you're gonna go see that movie.
Hell no, I didn't see the last one. And it's on video, and I haven't seen it.
4 hours long.
I just don't care. You've lost me. Show me what a real reboot is. I'll take another look at the series. Maybe.
Gotcha.
Okay. That.
Okay.
Also, if you release the '86 movie on a 4K Blu-ray, I might buy that too.
The cartoon.
Yeah. Like I just like whatever you're doing these days. Nah. Do a total reboot like Nickelodeon did with Ninja Turtles. Maybe I'll take another look at it. But as is, this soft reboot nonsense, no.
Mike has spoken. So.
All right. You are not a fan. Understood. All right. What else? I watched Predator 2 for some reason. I don't know why. I was like, watch Predator 2. I didn't realize like Danny Glover was so sweaty in that movie.
Constantly.
I know it's supposed to be hot, but I was like, dude, like,
what's going on?
Like, yeah, it wasn't. I remember reading about it. You know, when did it come out? 91? I don't know. It didn't really review very well, and I remember not really liking it because it was nothing like the original movie. But
is that what people were looking for? I haven't seen it yet.
No, this is. Well,
Predator 2 is like 180-degree turn.
It's like you're going from like the Amazon jungle to like LA.
Like, hey, weird. This isn't like the first half of this movie isn't drug traffickers and Arnold just going to like break up their thing. It's Donald Glover is a or Danny Glover.
Danny Glover.
Yeah. Danny Glover is a cop.
Yep.
And there's like Yakuza killings, but it turns out it's a predator.
No. It's not Yakuza. It's like the worst stereotypical Jamaicans and Colombians you've ever seen. Like, it's just like, come on, man. They didn't even try.
So I just want to say that we were watching Predator. It had to be the second one. And they kept being like, the Jamaican voodoos or whatever. Yeah. And I'm Jamaican. And I was like, Haitian people do voodoo. But like, it was so funny. But what I can agree is that Predator had better Jamaican actors than Luke Cage season 2.
That was distracting in Luke Cage.
I mean, Marvel fight. Like, I'm just letting you know, you could have went anywhere in New York, which you were, and found somebody. I know people Jamaicans that do martial arts. Like, you would have had no problem.
28 years ago, Predator did it better than Luke Cage.
How?
That's not a good sign.
And how?
Nah, but Predator 2 was, it wasn't good, but I get it. I get more of it now, but it still wasn't. And I try to understand, like, was it better than the new one? It wasn't, but the new one is just so dumb.
Is it the story? Like, because I feel like I feel like with movies, with bad movies, and it's like you go there because you know they're bad movies, but they're entertaining. Like, the action's pretty good. The CG had to get a little better.
No, I mean, the story is like there's some things they just don't explain it. They try to like retcon part of it, some of the like, motivations and intentions of some of the predators, but you don't buy it because like that doesn't make sense. It's like you could tell they had a bunch of ideas, they filmed them all, and then smushed some of them together, and then some parts make sense, some parts don't. Yes, the action, the action is gorier and everything, but I feel like there's so many movies that you could watch anything and see stuff blowing up. Like
that's true.
Give me something I can work with. I mean, it has one of the interesting parts was the fact that, well, I'll give away part of it, but the predators were there to like basically find. Okay, the guy's son is autistic, and the idea is that instead of autism being viewed as, as a hindrance, is being viewed as where humanity is going to go.
Oh,
it's being viewed as not a superpower, but like an advantage. Like it's being
kind of like what they did with a Quiet Place and her being deaf.
Yes,
which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, so I like that part of it. The other parts are just so dumb. It's like you put all this thought into like making autism part of this movie, but making it like something that make the kid like special and like in a really awesome way, and then and everything else is just like everybody's a soldier, everybody can shoot a gun, and that's
not true.
It just was like the character, like the band of soldiers he's with. There's some interesting characters like Keegan-Michael Key. I like his character. Like, I didn't dislike all the characters. It just, as a whole, it's like, why did you make this movie? And then the way they set up for a sequel is like, why would anybody go see that? Like, nope. You haven't earned that, so yeah. But yeah, so that movie you can pay for that movie and go see it.
Well, I got Movie Pass, so I'm not.
Let me get on Movie Pass too. They sent an email saying we're not taking PayPal anymore, to pay for it. I'm like,
they
okay,
said
cool.
that?
Supposedly. Maybe it was some fraudulent email. I saw emails saying, hey, we're no longer taking PayPal, you have a credit card or a debit card or whatever. I'm like, all right, fine. So I'm thinking, okay, my Movie Pass runs out on the 20th of September. So I figured, okay, I know people be getting double charged when they thought they were canceling. So I figured, since I pay with PayPal, I'm in the clear. They're not going to charge me because they don't take that anymore. Of course they charged me, even though I was supposed to. The day I was supposed to have my service canceled is the very day they decide, hey, you want your $10 again? I'm like, nah. Now they give it back to me the same day, which I was very surprised because their customer service is like, not really all that great.
I didn't know. I haven't.
Zero regrets for never having signed up.
No,
I'm also thinking about going to the AMC Stubs. It's a little bit more expensive, but you get to see like a movie a day
Yeah.
I think.
If you
It's
got an
unlimited,
AMC
isn't
close
it?
to you, that's not.
And
too bad.
I do. So it's a little bit easier for me, and it doesn't take anything for me to get to AMC either.
I have all Regals near me, but AMC's aren't far, so I do I can't pronounce it. Cinemia, which is $10, 3 movies.
Yeah,
but I can
because that works for Regal, right?
It works for everything. You can do stuff online. You're good to go. So it works. So yeah, Movie Pass.
And honestly, if I was paying for AMC stubs, I wouldn't go to another movie theater ever because I'm already paying for this.
Right. Exactly. So yeah, and then I started watching Black Lightning on Netflix. I like that show.
Man, I couldn't get back into it. The writing really threw me off. I felt like it wasn't organic and it didn't flow.
There's some things that don't make sense. Like there's some stuff that's like logical jumps of like the scene where like Tobias shows up at the rally or the march. It's like, why would you show up? why would you ever be there? Like,
yeah.
Like, plausible deniability right out the window. Like but
I just meant like the dialogue.
Some of it really rings true, and other parts of it, like, no one would actually ever say this out loud.
And so I was just wondering who they got to write for them.
That's a good question and a fair question, because sometimes it can be a little like, no, people don't talk like that. But yeah. I was going to bring up, Tiny, this one is kind of for you. It might be for you too, but
oh yeah.
Javon said, so the PS4 is allowing crossplay with Nintendo Switch with an Xbox, and I think it's time you guys revisit the debate. I can't remember who thought that the pressure wouldn't work, but it has. Tiny, I think that was you.
No, I
don't know.
Maybe
I don't
that
know
was
if...
your stance, Tiny. But like, I thought back on this, and I was like, there was the announcement of that whatever that card game was they were going to put out, and that they were not going to do crossplay if Sony didn't allow it, like whatever, then they were just going to say, forget it, we're not going to put it out on the PlayStation at all. And all I said was, I look at that and I can't tell if that means that they're trying to change Sony's mind, or they just go, if Sony isn't going to do it, then we don't care. And obviously, Fortnite is a big enough thing.
That's the thing. This is only Fortnite right now. Like,
right. So it's a scenario has been created where they bent for Epic.
Right.
I don't know. That doesn't really mean anything for what I was asking. But I don't think I really even had an opinion. Just that I thought it was still a question.
So the question is that this is going to be a broader thing, because it's not universal crossplay right now. It's just for Fortnite. Like Kotaku reached out to the Psionics for Rocket League and whatnot, and Activision for Destiny and Black Ops, and they're like, we'd love to hear more about it, but we haven't heard anything from our partner at Sony.
No, it sucks for them. I mean, I obviously they're interested in it, and they're looking at it and saying, hey, somebody on, the other side of the aisle or whatever is getting what they wanted. We're not getting what we've been asking for all this time. What's up?
They don't generate enough money.
So I guess if Rocket League becomes free to play and sells more, emotes or whatever, that they can get crossplay from Sony.
I mean, Rocket League was huge at one point.
Rocket League was huge. I mean, and it still is.
Right. So I don't know. I mean, Minecraft is still like quietly the biggest game on Earth. And they asked, Microsoft's like, we'd love them to have the PS4 version come into the ecosystem. So, yeah, this so far just seems like, hey, we are getting too much pressure to not let Fortnite be cross-platform.
Leave that Minecraft crap over that way.
I mean, a lot of people like it. So, like, it's not my game.
I'm
but...
not one of those people, and I don't like people being like, especially because I used to work for Microsoft. They're like, you don't like Minecraft? No, I don't like digital Legos. I don't.
It's universal appeal. Everybody likes that.
No, and then, I guess Roblox had cooler stuff like, I think Prison Break was one of them. They came in and showed things.
anybody hear static?
Yeah.
That might be mine. I don't know how. Maybe I should turn something down. Let's check it.
It just came in like just now.
I don't even know how to. You still hear it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like an avalanche.
Yeah. What about now?
Yeah.
I don't know how to make it go away, because then that means it's my headphones.
Try the connection.
Yeah.
Especially if it's 3.5 millimeters.
What?
Unplug and replug.
Okay.
That's better.
Oh, 1,000%. Uh-oh.
Yeah. You're light, but
a little bit.
Yeah, your mic doesn't sound so good, but the...
it almost sounds like it's a different mic.
Okay, that we're good.
What about now?
Wait, say something again.
Oh, now we can hear ourselves.
Okay, so I'm just going to turn this part. Well, let me try it again, because it's a 2-part. Is it better?
That sounds much
yeah,
better.
that's
good,
fine.
yeah.
All I did was unplug it and plug it back in, but I don't know when it's going to come back. Because I can take out sounds, but then you'll hear your reverb.
Gotcha.
So then I won't be able to hear you. Yeah.
It came back.
Did it? See, that's what I mean.
It seems better now. It
Now
seems
it's
just
gone.
like it's a static charge issue. So I think hopefully it'll be fine.
It's like
So.
static. It's the same thing that happened when I was live streaming. It came and went away, and I don't think
Hardware,
it's that.
it could be something with the wire.
It's not the fan,
Danny was using
because it wasn't there before. Oh, it wasn't there before. So
Gotcha. I just realized your shirt says Wakanda on it. I just don't know what the.
Wakanda forever.
yeah, I
Wakanda
got it
forever.
from Adorned by Chi. She makes like all these stuff, like where she has M'Baku's Bay and all this other stuff. So she makes some pretty cool shirts.
Very cool. Oh.
Why do I see somebody has corn candy on pizza on Twitter? Like, what is
Stop
wrong?
it, Aaron.
Like-
You know what, Aaron's kicked off the podcast.
I'm not
was
saying
gonna
I would
say-
eat it. I'm just saying.
I was going to say, hey, Aaron no longer has a camera.
Don't you bring that type of negativity in here?
I don't need that in my life.
So
Candy corn on pizza?
I wouldn't eat
I'm
candy
gonna
corn
throw
by itself,
up.
let alone on pizza.
Candy corn's not bad.
Candy
I,
corn
I
is
would
gross.
never make such a thing, but if
But-
Okay.
it was presented to me as a scenario where that was what was there to eat,
Oh my!
I might try a bite.
Okay, between life and death, I'll eat candy corn.
Between
Yeah,
life
no-
and death. I just choose death.
You know what? That might be better.
Candy corn
That
ain't
might
that
be better.
bad. I mean,
They-
it's not
they-
good, but
they cook-
I used to love candy corn, and I cannot tell you why. I think it was just like you're just excited to be hopped up on candy.
It's like,
oh yeah.
like just
But
get
they
sugar
cook-
and shove it into your mouth. That's
They cook this too, though. Like it's not like whole candy corns they put on top. They put that on the frozen pizza and then cook the frozen pizza.
How? Doesn't candy corn burn? And if it doesn't, that's a sign it's a witch.
Well, as Sharif says on the tweet that I think Aaron's looking at too,
Candy
which
corn.
seal was open to unleash the shit.
It is horrible. Never.
Oh man, why? Anyway, I tried.
Yeah.
Um,
No, I'm good. I'll try a lot of things. Candy. Nope.
What if it was like one of those giant chocolate chip cookies baked that looks sort of like a pizza, like it's real big and you slice it up, but instead of the chocolate chips, they put candy corns in there?
No.
I mean, that's possible, but that looks like like some kind of.
Like, does that sound
I
better
don't
than
hear
on
what
the
else you
pizza,
guys are
or
talking about.
exactly the same?
Oh, no, I think
far as
candy
tariff
corn
wise.
going with a chocolate chip cookie is probably a little better than candy corn going with tomato sauce.
And cheese.
I don't
So-
want to hear this.
So, anyway, yeah. We'll throw it. We'll throw it in the show notes. But apparently, there was a video game category on Jeopardy tonight, and like,
What is
people-
Zorlda?
it's like the people avoided it like the plague. It was the last thing that was on the board, and there were like questions like, this company released this Infinity that included The Incredibles and Cars, or Skyrim and Morrowind comes from this venerable series.
What is Disney?
Yeah, first was what is Disney, and second is what is Morrowind or Elder Scrolls. Man, run that category. But tomorrow night,
Even
apparently,
if they just said, so that's how I know that Jeopardy is like full of crap. Just kidding, I would never win. But if they said The Incredibles and Cars, you would be like, yo, that's a Disney
It's a
thing.
giveaway. Or Pixar.
And Disney does this stuff, right? And Disney does this stuff, so like that's what it is. That should have been the Daily Double.
well, I mean, that was so. The lady says, "What is Pixar?" Which is actually not a bad guess because those are both like Cars and Incredibles are both Pixar, technically. But yeah, anyway, like these people, yeah, like it's not good. But apparently, HQ is doing a video game trivia game tomorrow night at 9 p.m. and I'm going to go win an HQ game now.
I did not know that still existed.
Yeah, I haven't thought about HQ.
People play it like I think Harold won $38 the other night.
He didn't give me any.
Fantastic.
He was like, he has made as much money on HQ as he has from Twitch streaming. So
Big
yeah.
facts. That is that is truth. I can believe it.
So, but yeah, Aaron. Anyway, sorry we got off track.
Nah, we can move into the games we play. What games you been playing, Junae?
Spider-Man, barely. I've only gotten to like dang it, Kingpin.
That's the first thing.
Are you judging me or did you ask me a question?
Whoa!
I mean, you said barely, so you didn't preface it, but I thought you were going to say, like, the shocker. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
No,
My bad.
I started playing, and so, all right, we're going to do a little bit of a live Sims kind of interaction real quick. So the way everything is set up, like right now, I'm at my desk. I have 2 monitors, my PC, a PlayStation, and usually an Xbox, my capture card, headphones, speaker, right? Then my living room, so that way, and it has another Xbox, a PlayStation, and then the TV, and then the couch is like all the way against the wall. And so when I sit there, I cannot see. And I had a really horrible time playing God of War because I could not see like the armor, and like I didn't know that I had like all these extra moves because I couldn't see. But I have 20/20 vision. So the TV is just a little the TV is smaller than what it should be to be that far back and away from me. And then that means I gotta like sit on the floor, and then it gets uncomfortable. And then it gets uncomfortable sitting on the floor. So I was like, yo, Spider-Man's gonna take like a lot out of me. So like I can't play it right now, but I'm gonna finish Crash. Tomb Raider came out. Yo, I'm gonna finish Tomb Raider because I was gonna sit right here and play Tomb Raider. And that works until I want to like kind of slouch because Tomb Raider isn't as exciting as Spider-Man because like you can kind of just chill out and be like play for a little bit. When it gets intense, you can sit up. So I also like playing that on my couch, but it's the same thing. It's the same issue. I can't see. So I started playing Tomb Raider, and I'm leaving Spider-Man. I'm not live streaming it because I want to enjoy it. And when I live stream things, I feel like I have to rush through it so people think it's interesting enough, but I really want to take my time. And if people don't want to go on that journey with me, like I shouldn't force them. And I also don't want to be boring. So that's what's happening with Spider-Man. I'm playing Tomb Raider. I'm in the second game of Crash. Can I tell you, like, I almost cried when I finished the first Crash because it was so terrible. And I didn't skip any parts. Well, not that you can, but I didn't skip any parts unless they were the super hard levels that were purple. I didn't know I didn't have to do those, and so I was struggling through. And then someone came in on my live stream and told me I didn't have to do them, and I was like, bless you. So I didn't play those ones. I finished Crash, and then now I got to the second one, and because it's like significantly easy, I just kind of like lost interest because I was like, yo, I busted my butt from Crash 1 and I'm thinking I need those skills to come through in Crash 2 and I don't. So, I playing 60 parsecs like literally right now. I'm only at day 37, so I'm trying to beat my record from last time. 60 parsecs. I want to try Don't Starve. I'm not playing Dead by Daylight anymore. I started getting too scared. At first, I was like brave as I could be, and then it just became too much.
Is that the parkour one?
No.
That's Hover.
No, I think he's talking about Dying Light.
Dying Light. I get those ones confused.
There is a new parkour game, though. The only one I know is Hover. So I was like, no, that's really weird that you'd mix up those two when one of them literally looks like, you know, a unicorn threw up on screen because there's like so many neon lights and stuff. And the other one's like, you can barely see it. Dead by Daylight is the one where like you're the killer and you have a couple of survivors and you go around killing them, but they have to repair these generators so they can open the doors to escape. It's pretty weird.
It's
honestly.
like a Friday the 13th game.
I was going to say, yeah. It's
yeah.
Which is coming for free in October. PlayStation Plus.
No, I'm good. So,
Okay.
I think that's it. I wanted to play this game called Marbles, but I couldn't find it. X Mira Mira, who is a great Twitch streamer, she was playing it, and it looked like so much fun because it was so basic. I couldn't find it though.
Is it like
wanted to
old school marbles, like hitting marbles to knock the marbles out of the like?
Like you go buy a bag of glass beads
With some jacks and you
No, you know, I never knew how to play that. So
I'm not that old, so I'm yeah.
Marbles. You know, there's actually an old school game. I think it's on Nintendo 64 that's called Marbles, but I don't know if it's based on that, where you have to go around a maze and you have to not fall off the edge, and it's literally
it's like
Marble Madness.
Marble Madness.
That's probably what it is.
Oh, you know what? There's
that
a
game
game
was
coming out for the
madness.
Switch that's like that. I emailed the developer. I was trying to get a key for review, and they're invoking the Marble Madness kind of feel. It looks really fun.
Oh, what was that? That was a 360 like early multiplayer.
Oh, it's called
Xbox
Marble
Live
It Up. That's what it's called.
Oh,
Marble.
I
It
just
Up.
saw it the other day. So
She probably got an early key for it.
Oh, that's a possibility. That is a possibility. But she was like, yeah, you can go get it. So I thought it was readily available, but I'll check with her again. But those are the only things that I can think of. Is Tomb Raider is my main right now.
Did you play Marble
And I
Blast
can't
Ultra?
play.
You played Marble Blast Ultra for the 360? It's like, what, was it a launch game? Or
I
launch
didn't have a
game?
360.
Oh, okay. It was that kind of thing where you... Yeah. I'm sorry, but I interrupted you.
Oh, no, I was just saying that I can't play Tomb Raider and Spider-Man at the same time because of muscle memory. It was like when I was trying to learn to play Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter. It didn't work.
It's like you mentioned
Like
God
at
of
the
War.
same time.
Like going back to God of War, there's so many little press hold this to do this. I'm like, I can't. I'm putting this down again. Because
The newest one or the older one?
The newest one. And it's great. It's just...
That's true. There was a lot of that. But, you know, I
to
think
it.
they were trying to incorporate that from the series because I get that it's like a brand new one. But I think that was probably doing too much because you've already made this an RPG. So it's already more like intense and you have to pay attention. But it's true. They did want you to do trick shots and it was a bit difficult.
Yeah, I'll get back to it at some point. Or at
I
least
beat
say
the
I will.
Valkyries and I cried.
I don't even know if I'm that far. don't know.
I beat the game and then I did that. I'm not gonna stress myself out on this mission. Look, no, thank you. The boy is already enough. Okay, the boy is enough.
The boy.
Not the boy.
The boy. Boy,
boy
go get that.
But yeah, I think that's it.
Cool. Who's next?
Michael.
I mean, since the last show, really, the only thing like new that I've put any time into is a little bit more Metroid, Samus Returns, and my opinion really hasn't changed. I still think it's kind of a boring game overall, but I've accomplished more. I think I'm down to like 17 Metroids to go. But yeah, the fights still stink. The game still has no music. I will say I am pretty confident that I was incorrect in my assessment of it being below 30 frames. All the research I've done since the last show says, yeah, it's a 30 frames per second game, locked, whatever. It still feels less than that. Like, it feels sluggish. It feels lame. I'm missing jumps all the time because of what feels like I should be right at the edge and jumping, and I just walk right off and fall. And it's like,
sounds like you should get good, my friend.
Yeah, I hate that phrase, and
that's why I said it.
Yeah,
I did it too.
You jerk.
It's so dumb.
Yeah,
it's better.
Thanks for that advice. I'm gonna do it right now. Like,
Yeah.
My
right.
bad.
Oh, thanks. Oh, this whole time I thought you were
That's
supposed
where-
to play like you were terrible.
That's
Right.
what I was messing up.
Yeah, that was-
right.
Dark Souls is an
That's
easy
what I was
game.
doing wrong. You know, I can see
That's
that
the
now.
part.
Yep. Dark Souls
So-
is easy. Yep, that makes sense.
I at this point, I kind of assume I'll power through and finish it eventually, but I anticipate not recommending it at the end. We'll see how it goes. I did pick up the Messenger, but I haven't played it yet.
Oh, come on.
I want to. I will. I just haven't. It was like last night, I think it downloaded.
What'd you pick it up on?
On Switch. I saw a little bit of a discount with Green Man Gaming on Steam, but I was like, nah, I think that's a game I'd rather play portably if I want to, like when I want to. So I went with that. But I'll play it. I've heard enough good things to be like, sure, I want to see what's going on with this. But I haven't played it at all. Haven't even hit the start button on it, and I got 0. So yeah, honestly, that's about it. I will defer to Tiny, who's been playing some. Can we call them retro games at this stage?
I mean, they're like 18 years old, so I would assume so. First, I'm going to mention. Apparently, Dark Phoenix got announced for Valentine's Day next year. That's the next X-Men movie. Man. So.
I had a question.
Okay.
Why
This
making
is- This is me, I guess, not being in tune with Marvel. I get that Jean is supposed to be the most powerful one, but then people are now saying that about Scarlet Witch. Is it because she didn't exist when Jean existed? Do you know what I mean? Like, as in younger, not like written, but like she is younger than Jean. So
they are different powers.
okay,
So the weird thing with Scarlet Witch is she has like. She can change probability. Not like in the movie, she's like, I don't know, random telekinesis. But like in the thing, it's like, oh, hey, you got doused in gasoline. It is now will most likely burst into flames because she changed the probability of that. And like, but she also got taught how to do magic. So
okay,
she can, her powers like mix together, and that's weird. While Jean is like, hey, I'm an Omega level mutant. If I think real hard, a lot of people die. Like Xavier does in Logan and whatnot. So they're weird. Like, there's also like Iceman is now one of the most powerful mutants in the X-Men universe. He can't die. He can't like. There's a whole bunch of stuff. Kind of like
die.
No, kind of
Why?
like
Why?
plastic
why?
man.
Why?
Plastic Man in the DC universe is one of the strongest, like, most powerful superheroes in the DC universe.
But that's a joke, though.
He gets left at the bottom of the ocean in pieces in like 10,000 BC, and when the Justice League gets back to present time, they go down to the ocean and get his pieces. He puts himself back together, and oh look, Plastic Man's fine. Like, he is.
Because he's like a gag character.
I can see that. There are parts that he's like, yeah. Anyway, comic books are weird. So
just a little bit.
It all depends on the day and who's writing all that garbage. Anyway, yeah. I was playing original Xbox games because I spent like half a day trying to hook this up so I could get component and make it look nice, and I found out one of my Hauppauge capture devices isn't working anymore. So I played some garbage, and I played some good games too, but Star Wars Obi-Wan came out on it's an Xbox exclusive. They did not hire any of the voice actors from the movies or any of the actors from the movies, and I'm pretty sure they never actually heard Ewan McGregor talk.
I was gonna say, did they hire nobody that even resembles?
I'm pretty sure this guy is like maybe from Sweden that is supposed to be Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Does he know Norman Jaden?
So, oh god, this makes everything from Quantum Dream like look great.
That's not good then. That's
the best part of this game though is there's a dedicated tumble button where you can just flip the whole time. And for the 2 hours that I played this game, Obi-Wan flipped everywhere because that was the most enjoyment I was going to get out of it. So that game was bad. I also played Jaws Unleashed, which is a game I want to love because Jaws has to use key cards to open up doors. But it is so hard to control that shark. So
I picked that up for PS2 at a rummage sale recently for $1.99.
That's not a bad amount for it.
I haven't played it, but we have it.
But it should be so much more fun, like, because all you're doing is you're literally just being a giant terror-causing shark that goes around and eats like all the swimmers and whatnot. But you also like at points are just like a steel can, like, or a glass cannon, like Jaws dies for no reason, like that no discernible reason. So, but it's also a lot like Jaws 3, where he's in like a SeaWorld kind of thing at one point. So, yeah. That's why you need the key cards. You need to get the scientists who have the key cards so that you can open the doors as Jaws. So anyway, so I was playing that Jet Set Radio Future, which is actually a great game that I probably didn't play because I was a snob. They got rid of the whole graffiti mechanic that was from the first game on Dreamcast, and I was like, I'm not going to play this game, but I played it this last week, and that game's great. When you were talking about Hover, this is the game I think that inspired Hover, like these Jet Set Radio and Jet Set Radio Future.
Yeah, the guy who did the music.
Oh, okay.
The same guy who did the music for that one did the music.
Yeah, I played it on Steam like some months ago. It was all right. I don't know. I was confused about how to start some of the missions and stuff, but I think they probably ironed all that stuff out by now.
And then the last one I'll talk about, Marvel Nemesis, which is a game so great I own 2 copies of it for some reason. That game is hot garbage, and it's like the EA one where they tried to introduce new superheroes and villains in, and like you can play as the Thing. I love Ben Grimm; he's a great character, and it's like the most boring beat 'em up ever. It was a lot of people. I mean, people stopped by the chat and watched and realized just this is why these are Xbox games no one ever talked about.
Good question. Was Marvel Nemesis worse than the Marvel game that what's the Dennis Dyack
X-Men?
Oh, those are
the name.
What was that called?
Silicon
Destiny.
Yes,
X-Men
Destiny.
Whew, that's like, yo, do you want a broken leg or a broken arm? Like they're both real bad. I haven't played it. The problem with Destiny is like it could have been a cool game, but they had put all their money into whatever other game they were making, and like they just rushed that other game out. They rushed X-Men Destiny out. Marvel Nemesis, like I think these people thought these new characters were cool, and they were wrong. And someone probably should have told them that. Like, I didn't even get to the Iron Man section, and I'm a fan of Iron Man, but I just couldn't keep playing that game. So I don't know. I own both of them, Aaron, you're more than welcome to play both of them at Extra Life.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the offer.
But only at the same time.
Yeah, I have.
Probably
both.
no,
but
no.
You can play both of them. So aside from that, just because Aaron was talking about it before the show about like weird handhelds, I broke out the Neo. I found the Neo Geo Color. I think I picked up at a MagFest or Too Many Games a couple.
I thought that didn't work.
I got it to work.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I replaced the watch battery, and I forget what I did. I think I ended up opening up and cleaning out some corrosion from the battery.
Did you slap it on the side a couple of times and yell "Gushy"?
No, I did not.
I don't think I get that, but okay.
Oh, it's a quantum leap thing.
Sam,
I'm a big Scott Bakula fan, and funny, I never heard of that show.
Oh, you only like him from.
It's weird that you know that
Trek
Scott
thing
Bakula was in it, but never hearing of the show.
Well, no, I saw Necessary Roughness, and then I was just a fan.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was trying to think some other reference. What was that one that he did? It was like a Wes Craven movie or something, like Lord of something or another.
Oh yeah, I can't think of the other word, but yeah, that sounds.
Yeah, I slept right through that entire movie.
But the Neo Geo Color is
scary,
like interesting. It's an interesting idea, but like I have 3 games for it. One's a like zombie hunting game. It's a top-down shooter, and then the other 2 are fighting games that I'm sure Ben would love. I think at least one of them has Samurai Showdown characters in it, so I'm be shocked if he doesn't already own it. So, but it's like you play it and you're like this should have been great, but there's no backlight. There's no they're just pieces that I'm like, man, I really wish this could have been a better console.
You got that cable that hooks up to the Dreamcast.
What's wrong with you? What's going on? You over there like?
I wish it could have been. I'm just saying this. Like I haven't.
I lost.
Oh,
I went insane because I didn't have a sock puppet, and I was one day away from crafting the
60
sock
parsecs strikes
puppet,
again.
and I lost.
I thought this was going to be a real strong love for the Neo Geo Color.
Yeah, I was like, wow, you really felt deeply.
No, I have no idea what that is. And I was like, Neo Geo. I was like, I should ask. But then you went into kind of talking about it. And I was like, cool. And then it told me, and I knew it was the end because the thing was flashing red. And I was like, come on, I just need another day. My sock puppet's almost here. But I'm insane.
This is the Neo Geo Pocket Color, so
It's a failed handheld that's a million times better than an N-Gage.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, I mean, it's a real interesting piece. But like what was it? Dark Arms was the game I was playing, and then I have some Neo Geo Fighters game, and I forget what the third one is. So, but yeah, I went and looked at like what are other Neo Geo Color games, but considering I can't play it in bed, I'm probably not going to pursue any other games. Like without having direct sunlight on it, it's like an original Game Boy kind of deal.
Yeah, you need one of those little like attachments that plugs into the COM port.
Yeah,
the worm
light.
Yep.
No, good. To speak to actually what I am playing when I'm trying to go to sleep, I went back to Chrono Trigger because that game's awesome, and playing that on the DS is just a great experience. So I don't know.
It's the handy boy, everybody.
Oh God, all the add-ons to the Game Boy.
Like the Game Boy's somewhere in there.
Yeah, turn your Game Boy into a monster. So here's
man.
a magnifier and a stereo stereo speakers and.
Oh, that's so horrible.
And an add-on that smooths all the scrolling so that the game doesn't disappear when you walk to the right or left.
I remember looking at that thinking like that would be kind of cool, but I was like 10 or 11. So what did I know?
New update.
Yes.
I didn't lose. But my adventure is over. I lasted 47 days. And
but you didn't lose, though.
No, I didn't lose because it says that I moved into some type of Robodu, and I live there now with one of the people who didn't die. There's only 3 of us, so two-thirds is great. But usually when my adventures end, it'll say you perished. So I think I'm done playing this game forever. Yes, see, you survived. Wow.
It sounds like the end of the game of life when you don't win and you just like roll into the mud hole. say you're in debt forever. End of game.
That's it for you.
Yeah, no, this is great.
So, the last thing I've been playing, which calling it a game is probably generous, Smule, which is a karaoke program on iPhone and I think Android, I guess, where you do like duets and whatnot with other random people, and it's a lot of fun. It's like you just. I feel bad for my neighbors because I think they randomly hear me singing Disney songs and whatnot.
That's not a bad thing. You shouldn't feel bad.
It's when it's at 2 a.m. I probably just I really need to.
That's a judgment call.
I know I'm not saying it too, but it's like the thing is, if I know what would bug me about it is you only hear the lyrics that the person. Because like you have to wear headphones so that the microphone on your phone doesn't pick up both the music it's playing plus you're singing back. So like if you're anyone observing, you're only hearing half of the song and you're hearing none of the like accompanying music. So this person better be very good at like karaoke by themselves. Like so, because it'd be like, why did you stop singing and then start again? So,
I just found out about a karaoke bar that I might go to. Has anyone seen Agretzko? It's on Netflix. It's,
the cat.
Yeah.
Yes.
What is it? What's it about, I should say?
Agretzko is a Hanyo. What is it called? People who make Hello Kitty?
Yeah, I think so.
Hanyo? It looks like a Hanyo cat. I'm pretty sure it is. And she's in the workforce, and she's supposed to be like this really sweet girl who has it like all together and tries really hard. Her boss is terrible. He's a pig, literally.
Sanyo.
And the way she relieves like stress is that she screams heavy metal music. Like, imagine Hello Kitty like screaming, like doing that scream music and karaoke. So I'm gonna be like a Gretzko.
This is I
Yes.
like I don't even know.
I remember,
like what?
I remember when this came out. I think I watched a couple.
It's really funny to watch it. Like if you're kind of like, oh, I don't know if I'll get it. Like if you keep watching it, you'll find something you like, kind of like BoJack Horseman.
Everybody's talking about that. Should I be watching that?
I don't know, man. It depends how hard your life has been. Like, no joke. Like, I really like BoJack because I'm like, I get it, you know? But then I feel like that also makes me a little bit of a jerk.
For liking it?
I'm most of the way through the 5th season of BoJack right now. I think it's really
And Issa Rae is in it. So she's in the 5th season. But it took me like a season to get into BoJack. Like, my friend told me about it. So when I would write articles, I would just leave it on in the background. And then it started saying some really clever things, and I started to look up, like, whoa, what? So, yeah.
BoJack Horseman. How's the first season?
Like I said, I don't know.
I watch it. Like, give it a shot.
I don't know, because it took me to get it, like, the 2nd season to get into it. Like, I used to just put it on as busy noise. So.
Good old BoJack Horseman.
Because he says some real things, but he's such a jerk. But he says some real things.
All right.
Yeah.
Aaron, what have you been playing, my friend?
I'm enjoying some Spider-Man myself. I think I just made it past Shocker.
Okay.
Spider-Man is dope. The combat is kind of like, I like it, but it's not as good as I don't know. Like, I know Batman can't like jump in the air and uppercut people and jump up and punch them and kick. I like that stuff, but part of it feels like it's Arkham-y, but not all the way. Is that? I don't know.
I see what you're saying. You will unlock more moves that will help flesh that out.
Yeah, I keep looking for that Blossom thing everybody's talking about, but I don't see it.
La 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 la.
It's not like a narrative spoiler.
This is not a spoiler.
It's a move. It's
the
like
very first suit you have. That's the power it has.
Yeah, like it's
because I haven't looked up anything about it. I thought I was just gonna play it when I play it.
Yeah, so like that should be like if you're looking at the move list, that is the wrong place to be looking. You want to look at your suits, and then your suit power, and that's where Web Blossom is. And it's literally it's like that or the Spidey sense are the first two you get. Like you get them at the beginning of the game. So
I guess I'm not playing right then. Okay, so I need to get good.
You just have to. You can change. The cool thing, and again, I'm not spoiling anything. I promise. You can match any suit power to any suit. So like, it's not that you have to wear like a certain suit to get it.
I want the noir suit. That's what I want.
Did you not get the code?
Oh no, I didn't buy it new.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say those all unlocked if you bought it new.
Oh,
but if you didn't, I heard you get them in like the first 5 levels. So
I'm
yeah,
like
so
level
like,
6 or 7 now.
Then you should have enough stuff.
Well, it said they're not grayed out, but they said I can't afford them. So
okay, so there's still some challenges you have to do.
I have some more stuff to do. No, that's cool. It's dope. I'm liking it. I feel like the story elements come right when I'm, not that I'm tired of swinging around. But it's a good time to kind of just kick back and just watch something until 5 minutes go by. It's like let me go back to swinging again. Let me get back into it. So it's cool.
Gotta go find all your backpacks.
Yeah, that gets a little nutty. Yeah.
And
yeah, it does.
go find Doctor Strange.
I wonder, like, who has the money and time to like web up 100 backpacks all over a city? Like, you just keep buying backpacks. Like,
so
I need another backpack. Like, sir.
So this might
more backpacks.
This is a dumb like little in-game spoiler thing.
Mm-hmm.
There is at one point there is a piece in like one of the backpacks you find. Peter Parker apparently won some contest from Oscorp, and he got unlimited backpacks. Which is how but he couldn't get the money because he had a conflict of interest for knowing Norman Osborn or something. It's some weird, like, that's how they explain how he has 54 backpacks just hanging around the city. So
whatever works. I mean, I'm not buying it, but that's fine.
It's very convenient.
Yep. Backpack knowledge. All right, I'm playing a little bit of a game called Pilot Sports on the Switch. That is basically like Pilot Wings. You do challenges like in a hover pack, an airplane, flying through rings, collecting things. It's pretty neat. The character designs are awful. Like I like the variety of them. The diversity is it's alright. It's cool. It could be a little better, but it's cool. But just the characters.
Oh no!
They're just not. They just look smugly. It's just not cool. And they're like really short. Not that they're wrong people being short. It just they don't look proportionate. It's like they're like all torso and like no leg. I offended somebody else saying that. The character designs are just a little, So, but the game is fun. I was never like a really huge Pilot Wings, I have Pilot Wings, but it's cool. What else? The Garden Between. I am really liking this game. I saw the trailer for it. I was like, yeah, whatever. Okay, this was a puzzle game, but it's a puzzle game where I don't know if they're brother and sister or what, but there's a male character and a female character, and the female character is holding like this lamp, and it can hold like this special like light orb that you need to unlock the level to make progress. And the male character can like ring these bells. There's nothing that he does that like she couldn't do, but I guess because of the game, like she always holds that. He happens to like touch things that make stuff rotate or pulley.
This is on your Switch?
Yeah, I think it's on PS4 and Steam too. But you don't control them directly. You just use the left analog or the right analog and then one button. Because basically you move the analog to the left to go back, like back in time, and then to the right to go forward. So you basically just wind around these environments, solving little environmental puzzles to get to the top, to put a little light thing in there so you can escape and keep going. It doesn't sound great, but it's kind of relaxing. The music is really calm, and I don't know, it's pretty neat. I'm liking it a lot more than I thought I would.
That's always nice for the Switch.
Yeah. It is fun, and I don't play a lot of Switch handheld mode. I play a lot just sitting in front of my TV. I know it's not, that's not the intent. I mean, it is the intended design, but so it's just basically a stick and a button. You're done. What else? I'm playing some Magic Cat. I loved it on Steam.
What is that?
Magic Cat is like, it's a platformer with like a cat with like a magic hat. It's goofy. Like it's a platformer. Like every level has a boss. You just saw like there's little puzzles in it, like because you can collect these 3 jewels, it's like 3 red gems in every level. You have to kind of find them, but basically just go from point A to point B, fight a boss, and it's like 63 levels, and they're not really that long. But little enemies, the cat can shoot out little beams and things like that. But then there's items and shops along the map. You can augment some of your abilities and things like that. It's really kind of simple, but it's fun. It has a 16-bit kind of look to it. It's just tons of levels. I don't know. It's just fun. I just get lost in it. Like, 2 hours goes by because you're just jumping around as a little cat with a hat on. I don't know. I like it. What else? A friend of the show, Mike J, sent me the Smurfs for the Master System. That game looks really good for the Master. I mean, it sounds good and it looks really good. Like when you see Gargamel, he looks like Gargamel. Like it's spot on.
Is it based on any other specific Smurf game?
I don't know.
Or is it like an original? Like it's not like the one on ColecoVision and Atari.
No. This one, if I had to liken it to something, I would liken it to like, it's not as good, but think about like Mickey Mouse Castle of Illusion. Not with the darkness, but just like the jumpiness and the platforming.
Whimsical.
It looks really good. Like I was kind of taken aback, like this is a good looking game. I'm glad I have this. It also used to be like $400, but the price just, I guess, went down. I don't know.
Now it's free.
I had the international version, so like the instruction book was like this thick because there's like 19 different languages in it because anybody can play it anywhere, theoretically. So that's pretty cool. I was supposed to play the Creed PSVR game, but I didn't get a chance to. And it's funny, I had never. I know, I'm gonna hear about this. My wife
the
was
movie.
I didn't see the movie until this week. I had wanted to see it when it came out. I didn't get a chance to, so I felt like, well, if I'm gonna play the game, let me watch the movie first. So I watched the movie, which I enjoy. And the new trailer came out today.
I was gonna say there was a new trailer today.
I mean, you already know who he's fighting from the other trailer, but then they show more of him. They actually showed Dolph Lundgren in the trailer. He got really old, but anyway, well, we all will if we keep living. But I don't know. The game was supposed to be really good, and I remember playing a game called. It was another PSVR game. It was like basically just Punch Out, like a Mike Tyson's Punch Out style game, but in VR. I remember playing it for like an hour and a half. And my body hurt so much because I mean,
because you don't regularly punch.
Yeah, I don't regularly stand up and punch. And
so have you never played like ARMS or that VR game? There's like a VR game. I don't think it's Knockout, but you are like it's PSVR, and like you're boxing and you're going like minute after minute round.
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about. That game is fantastic.
On Switch?
No, that's on PSVR.
I missed something. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying that this game, Creed, I wanted to play. I just didn't get a chance to. It's supposed to be really good, by the way. So, I don't know. Oh, it's called Knockout League. That's I actually.
So I was right. Okay, yeah.
Knockout League. That's a good game. I did enjoy that, but Creed's supposed to be really good as well. I like Punch Out, and I also did play Super Punch Out this week because. Whenever I can't figure out what to play, I play Super Punch Out because it's Super Punch Out. It's great. Yeah. I think that's it. Oh, and I play Little More Wonder Song, which is interesting. That's a game where you just sing and solve everybody's problems miraculously. My kids are missing. You just sing a song and find people's kids, or like I said last week, you fight ghosts with your songs and everything. It's goofy. Cool.
That's funny. My kids are missing, so let's sing.
Exactly. They'll come back.
They'll come back.
To the sound of my melodious voice. They'll be right back here. All right. I don't know if we talked about this since we started, but I think we did. I don't know. The Telltale situation.
We didn't talk about it.
Yeah. It's unfortunate. And then the fact that...
I'm still a little... I'm searching for answers. I don't want to say I'm confused because I understand people lost their job and they're not finishing games, or they're trying not to pay these people that are finishing the games. Yeah. And that has to mean they don't have any money, because you weren't planning to pay these people out till a certain day. So like you don't have no money, or you screwed them. But I was trying to read up on it and like check out even like the hashtag and figure out why the last CEO sued the current CEO, or the second to last CEO sued the CEO. Yeah, he did. He was suing him. He was saying something about like damages or rights, and that's what I didn't get to finish. I actually got the article up. But yeah, I didn't get to finish it, but I just kept reading it, and then there was something way back in February, like mismanagement of funds from something, and that probably added to this. So there's just been a lot of stuff going on, and I just want to know who lied and fudged the numbers. You know, how did Batman not do good? People buy, like, I could sell poop with a Batman mask, and people would be like, oh my God, this is amazing. You know, like, so I'm surprised that Batman didn't do well. And if Batman didn't do well, why didn't Telltale do well? And in the group that I'm in, Black Girl Gamers group, we were talking about it a little bit, and I loved Wolf Among Us. I did. I loved it. But it was frustrating when I first got into Wolf Among Us because it was on the 360. And I was like, okay, but when is the episode coming out? And I'm like, yo, one, I don't have the money to be buying these episodes every time they come out. Maybe if I could just buy it in like a lump sum or then wait. But by the time like you wait for the next episode, your suspense kind of went away, or you're like, oh, what happened? I probably got to go back and play. And because it's a decision-making game, you're probably not going to make the same decisions, so you're not going to have the same outcome. Yes, it'll have, you know, your saved data. But one thing that I thought would have been the obvious thing to do is, if every episode is coming, if you have an episode come out, it should come out like weekly, like clockwork, like Insecure does every Sunday. You know, it's going to come out at 9:30, you know, to cut down on the reason why these episodes were so far out. Like, that's not how I want to play a game. That's not how anybody wants to play a game. I feel like binge culture came from gaming. Like, I want to play all of this in one sitting. And the fact that like you're making me wait however long for these episodes probably also didn't help, you know. But I really want to know where the money went. And it sounds like Telltale was only 275 people wide, which is interesting. But
they grew a lot though. That's after they grew, isn't it?
Yep.
I don't know. Yeah. I was doing the math from how many people got laid off to how many people were still there. It was like 250 with like 25 people there. So 275. But yeah, that's the only thing I have to say about it, because everything else, like, I am speechless. I feel like I don't have enough information, and I feel like I never might. Even talking to the people, like, I'm sure the people who got laid off a while back were probably like, wow, we're in a better position than that. You know, they're in a better position because those 25 people, or how many, 75, how many ever their first layoff were, have a better chance of finding a job, because you don't have 249 other people looking for the same job. So they're probably in a better situation, but, you know, probably didn't think about it. I don't know if people are going to file like a class action lawsuit, because I don't think you can talk about it if you can. But, you know, and people are still thinking of buying the games. And that's the part I think that hurts. Like, if I don't understand the situation in total, I can at least understand that people are once again, like, gamers are once again showing their behind, showing their, you know, their spoiled behind of like, well, I still want the game. No, fam. Don't buy the game. Clearly, people weren't buying the game before, right? And that's why all these people got fired. Don't buy the game and give whomever, you know, the money, or people, if they are releasing, like Life is Strange, blah, blah, all of that needs to be free, because nobody's getting the residuals from that, or, you know, unless it's the CEO. But the only thing I have to say is what I just said, and it's from like a moral aspect versus like a statistic. It's coming from a moral aspect than it is a statistic. facts-based opinion.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean,
Go ahead, Tony.
I would. So something came out today that said that they were operating on such a lean budget that when AMC and something else, Smilegate, was it? There was a second company, said, hey, we're not going to partner with you. The essentially finance people said, cool, we have to shut down in 24 hours now. Which is crazy
24
to have
hours.
Like that small a runway for a like
it was over then.
Well, yeah, pretty much. Like this was their their last chance. And the idea that like you're running on such a small runway and like you're gonna pull off a Hail Mary, so like you don't tell your people like, hey, don't like kill yourself to do this but see, if you tell your people that, then you immediately just cause a scare inside you're inside your company anyway. It's such a I don't understand the idea that and it's why they got removed. Like the final season for Walking Dead got removed from most digital stores today. You can't buy it because it's a product that will never be finished right now. And anyone who does buy stuff, that's just going to go to their creditors. Like that's going to be the problem here. But I have to imagine the reason Batman didn't make Telltale money is the problem. Like they probably they made Warner Brothers money because it's all the licensing. It just never crossed the threshold to make Telltale money. And that's the same. They didn't have original properties. Like the last thing they did was that Puzzle Agent, I think, and that would have been 2011.
Yeah, I don't know nothing about that one.
Yeah, it's all everything they had was Game of Thrones, Stranger Things, Batman, Tales from the Borderlands.
But weren't they? So let me try to figure this out now. Are they dropping all those other things to focus on Minecraft, or are they not doing anything anymore?
So when they say 25 people are left, those 25 people are only left to finish the Minecraft thing, and then they're also fired.
Oh.
There's this company, I think they announced the company is shutting down. Telltale is dead unless someone comes and buys the rights, and kind of like Toys R Us. We are in liquidation of Telltale now, which is crazy because you're they made so many games, they should have been successful. And you can go read, I think it's on The Verge or Polygon, I forget, Ben Kuchera's hot take, which is dumb, about how it's because they didn't evolve or anything, and that's not. I don't see that.
Did he mean evolve, or he mean they kind of made
it feels
thing a lot of times?
It feels like he wanted to put all of the, let's say, onus on a lot of the development staff instead of maybe on management having 24 hours of runway before they have to shut down the company.
There was mismanagement, that's for sure.
No, that's not your artist isn't going to know this, because guess what? They don't know the budget. It's not their job.
It's true.
This is why you have people, experts, and anyway, I think that article's a dumb take, but that's my personal opinion. But the idea that because they're shutting down the company, that's also why they didn't have to pay severance, because California has the WARN Act, which says, hey, you have to give 60 days notice and blah, blah, blah. But if it's not, that's only if you're laid off. If the company no longer exists, there's nothing to pay out from.
Okay.
So that's but they have been sued. At least one employee has done a class action to say, hey, you violated the WARN Act. The company is technically still around. I'm willing to bet their lawyers already shored that up long before they made this announcement. So, I don't think
again, with their foresight, maybe they didn't.
Yeah. Well, I would imagine that was the first thing the lawyers we got to make sure we don't have to. We have no money to pay these people, so they can come sue us for all they want. That's why you created LLC.
I've been a part of that before, but I didn't have the sense on how to handle it, and it's really frustrating when you're just doing something But
And that's the thing about these, like all these people live in San Francisco, and like a lot of people have legitimate points. Like a lot of people were living paycheck to paycheck. Like
in San Francisco,
Yeah.
come
Yeah.
on. You
Their
can't
health-
afford anything unless you own something, and you own something that's like doing
health
big
in-
stuff.
Yeah, their health insurance ends two days from now, at the end of the month, the last weekday of the month, so it's Friday. Like this is just a bad situation where and then they go and put up that press release like, oh, we're working with other partners to possibly make the last of the 2 episodes, and Walking Dead, like, F off. Like, if you're gonna do that, pay, like, you should get a loan and pay the severance first, and then have this discussion about how you're gonna. But the other argument, and to play as devil's advocate, is you have people that bought that season that they are 100% out of the money that they paid. So, like, and at one point, there are a lot of things I hate what gamers do, but at some point you have to be like, I don't care what the development troubles are. I paid $60 for a product.
And it's true, when enough people complain, it really does do something. And so it's so frustrating that, like, for some things we can be so adamant about, and other things we can be very laissez-faire, I think.
And that's,
not laissez-faire is what I want to use, but very relaxed and chill about it. And so it's like I'm not saying that we all could have gotten those people's jobs back at all, but I think, like, demanding to know what happened, like, I need to see receipts, like literal receipts of what happened and why we didn't get this, and not just be concerned about, like, well, I want to finish my game. It's not that serious. I'm sure it's the same thing as, like, Walking Dead. If you've seen The Walking Dead, and I've never played any of the Walking Dead series. I played like the first episode, and I was like, oh, okay, but I don't watch The Walking Dead, so it's not appealing to me. Wasn't really interested in Life is Strange either. Like I said, I like Wolf Among Us, but I've already figured out, that wasn't going to work out for me. I was just going to wait till it was done and buy the whole thing. And, like, even now, I don't think I want to buy Wolf Among Us. And, like, if I do, I'll probably never stream it, because I don't want people to know that, I support it. But it's just like you at some point, you got to come out of yourself and be like, yo, what they did was wrong. Like, not saying forget your $60 or how much it is, for the whole game or for the whole episode, but it's like your money does matter, but, like, so does your mouth, like, you guys can complain about all the other stuff, but you don't want to complain when, like, a whole studio is getting laid off for supposedly your favorite game. But demanding receipts. Like, I want to see how this went downhill, because you're allowed to do that. I feel like at some point that is public access, and, like, as a journalist, I feel like I should know a little bit more about that, and that's why I'm saying it's like public access. Somebody who has, like, stock in there or something should be able to go even further and be like, well, I need to see what you guys are doing with my money.
Well, I'm pretty sure Telltale was a private company, so I don't think they had gone public.
Well,
so, like,
there you have it. Then maybe we won't know.
And there's so many of those stories from, like, game studios and pieces where it's like, because this month has not been good for game studios. Big Fish Games just announced they're laying off 75 people. You had Telltale. You had, oh my God, I'm blanking.
Capcom Vancouver.
Thank you.
Last week, yeah.
It's and, like, these are just going to be. It's going to be, hey, we restructured, or and they're never, like, it's going to be 20 years until someone can actually, like, tell a story without hurting their potential of being reemployed.
Yeah.
So it's just, it's like the idea that they were running with, and we have friends that are finance officers and whatnot at different companies, and, like, you'll hear them joke about, like, how much money, like, what runway they have, and they're talking in months. To think that these people were talking in hours is just craziness. For
that just basically means, like, if money
if this
did not
didn't
go into an account, like, with, like, that hour, it was already over. Like,
yeah. It's the same thing as the MoviePass thing. Like, remember when MoviePass suddenly stopped working, and it's because they needed a $5 million infusion from their investors because they had no cash on hand? Like, it's that same idea. So, like, the weird thing is that at some point, those games are going to revert back to their owners. So, like, Batman is going to go to WB, and at that point, if you are a Batman fan, like, I guess go play it. Like, it's not like Telltale CEO who mismanages into the ground is going to see $1 from that. The IP holder is going to get it. So if like, and that's the same for I think Wolf Among Us because that's a WB property. I'm almost certain.
Yes, that makes sense.
So and then AMC or whatever Skybound will be Walking Dead, and like there's stuff there, but like it definitely has like Guardians of the Galaxy's up on a Humble Bundle right now, the Guardians of the Galaxy Telltale game, and like I don't know if I'd buy that. I already own that game, but if I didn't,
I think it was free on Xbox, and that's how I have it, or at least one of the episodes.
Sounds like it was.
I believe we got sent codes for it, so but like I don't know if I'd buy it otherwise. Like it's just kind of like I'm not like I don't want to engage in this with this right now. So we'll see. But it's the idea that like they were this like and that like you'll see posts from people like I was working till 3 a.m. the night before, or really the morning before. They closed the studio. No one like why was I wasting my time if this was like that's just like.
So that's exactly what happens. I've been fired many a times, and they wait till like you're done with your shit. Like you're never gonna come in and they're gonna be like you're fired. One, they need you for the day, so why am I being fired? 2, they want you to complete whatever you're doing and to be like, yo, we have as much as we do or whatever the case is, and then they're gonna let you go. Like heck, I've even been laid off, you know, and they don't give you any warning. They don't give you any warning. So
it's so I don't know in the companies, in the security companies I've worked at, the moment you're laid off, like you're out. Like there's no discussion because we're more concerned that you're gonna go like start wrecking stuff.
Or stealing or something.
Like,
but then it's like
and that's the thing. Like these people had 30 minutes to get out of the building when they were told. Like they had no more. And this happens with all the game studios. They had no more access to their like exchange infrastructure, so they couldn't get their contacts. Like, and it's like what the.
I think it's so important that like we shouldn't have an every man for himself mentality, but you should know better. Like if I work for a game dev, and I have before, and he was really small time, right? Because it was like literally me and him, and like his wife and someone else. And it was like, oh, well, you can have this email. And, you know, with that email, there comes like a database. I remember like one day, I think I had like a rocky day, and I sent that whole database to my regular email. So I still have those contacts. Like, I think that's important to teach people that these people don't care about you. Like, if it's either you or them, they're going to pick them. And, you know, if that's something that you needed, like those contacts, that's something that should have already been grabbed. And I don't think it's about being sneaky, but it's like cover your behind. You know, you're never going to know what you're going to need. Like, just continuously be like, okay, well, I got my contacts. I got this. Like, if I left here tomorrow, would I need anything? And that's just when I have a bad day, I'd be like, all right, I'm done with this place. You know, like, not for real, but I'm like, I'm going to take everything I can and get all the advantages I can. No, I'm not going to steal. But, you know, it's like, I'm going to take these contacts and I'm going to do this. Or these people that I have contacted who have contacted me, like, I'm not going to give you my contacts.
Right.
You know, and I've had people try to do that before. Like, oh, who is that person? I don't know. I don't remember. I'll let you know when, you know, they need something, or you can let me know what you need. And it's the same thing. I used to work for a radio station, and my friend wanted to buy some like radio, like airtime. And I was like, well, how much is it? And they're like, well, if you send them in. And I was like, no, they asked me how much it is. So like, you're dealing with me, and I'm not even asking for a commission or anything, but that's just how shady people are. And like, it kind of sucks because you got to be shady. That CEO didn't get there by not being shady, you know?
The CEO, he came from Zynga. So the last CEO came from Zynga. So the other guy that was throwing him under the bus got pushed out, and so the lawsuit has brought against Telltale, and this was long before this occurred, was about how he was pushed out and that devalued his shares and whatnot. Which now his shares are worth 0, so it doesn't really matter. But I'm sure he'll say damages at the time. But like that's, like it's, I don't know. Like the new CEO tries to like play this like, hey, we were restructured and we were looking to get the game engine up to That's why they switched to Unity 6 months ago, I think. I forget. They made an announcement. And like that's real. Like, okay, I understand. And he's like, we just ran out of runway. Yo, you had 24 hours of money, cash on hand. That's like, you didn't run out of runway. The runway was long behind you. You are now in the ocean. So like, but anyway, like, I don't know. The good things that I've seen, people should be talking about unionizing again, which there continues to be talks in the game industry about it. But like, there's the only way you're going to be able to protect yourself, like collective bargaining kind of protection. So
that's a whole nother thing. All right. I was going to mention Microsoft announced their XO18 thing in Mexico City.
Yeah,
I guess they're bringing it back because they did it some years ago, right? I guess it's the return of it.
Yep.
So, see how that goes. They'll be live streaming stuff, so.
The announcement, yeah, the announcement.
It's probably be a new Xbox controller. Well, it's blue. Whatever. I don't know what they're gonna do.
It's blue.
It has Bluetooth and it's blue. So yeah, we already mentioned the PS4 crossplay thing. Oh, PlayStation Now. Apparently, you can download the games to your hard drive, which is interesting. That's a good change for those who don't have internet. That's, I guess, good enough to. Well, I guess I've used almost anybody because I've used it, but it's been a while. I don't know if it's any better. Have you used it recently, Junae?
No, you got to pay for that, right?
Yeah, I don't have a subscription.
Yeah, that's that extra subscription. No.
Yeah, I had it for a month. And I was
like, I thought it was cool though. I definitely thought it was cool that because it's not only about downloading the games, it's that you get older games too, right?
Yeah.
You get older games and then you can do some other stuff too. And I thought that was cool, but it's like that's racking up to like $100, right? Just for a PlayStation subscription.
The PS Now, so I think a PS Now is $100 by itself for a year.
Okay.
So then you're looking at $160. Or actually, my boo told me that you didn't need.
You don't need
PS
Plus.
Live.
Yeah.
PS Plus, PS Live.
To play online.
If you like, you don't need that to use those features if you are doing the Now, so you can pay that $40 more, or it can't be that serious. You guys choose. Like, it's either not that serious or it is. But I think the older games is like a lot of fun, and that'll be helpful. I think that would be helpful. Like, I would find that useful if I was willing to pay the $100. If I had like a second PlayStation and I had something that my little brothers were able to play that, I kind of already knew what was going on, and then just download it so they didn't have to be on the internet and protect them from all of that junk as well. But I don't think it's worth it.
Well, so the weird thing about it though is like you can download PS4 or PS2 games. PS3 games still can only be played in the cloud. So, which I think is the largest catalog. So, at some point they're going to make a PS3 emulator that lets them play it locally. But otherwise, hopefully.
It'd be nice to just stick the PS3 game into a PS4 and be able to play it, but that's not possible. But I mean, I
wonder if the drive's fast enough to do that. I assume you'd have to like rip it to the hard drive essentially. So
chances are.
Yeah.
Then the last thing is Oculus announced the Oculus Quest, which is the standalone VR device that everybody's been waiting for. I guess it's what $3.99 comes out next spring.
Yep. It's like mid-tier. It's higher than the mobile one, but not like, hey, this is what you play your games on.
Yeah, so we'll see. It could be interesting. I mean, I know that's what everybody wants, is to not have wires and stuff.
Oh, my bad. I was muted. I was wondering what that Oculus commercial was about. Sometimes I watch commercials and I don't even know what they're about, but I'm glad
You're
you
not the only
told.
one.
I just be like, what?
What was that AT&T when I saw in the movie theater where like a guy picks up but his girlfriend from the airport and they're driving in the forest and then she turns into like a zombie and tries to kill him? Like this.
Nah,
this
you
for
lost
AT&T?
me. I didn't see that.
Like,
I didn't even fake see that. Like,
what?
I have no recollection
that was
of
a real
AT&T
AT&T commercial. Like she tries to kill him. I'm just like, how does this relate to buying a phone? Like, what is this?
Were they
It's-
talking about their service? I can imagine. Like,
I was
what
gonna
you
say,
call for help.
It's how you feel when you sign a contract with
I
AT&T.
think that might have been what it was. It's like he ran out of the car with his phone. And I guess because he's in the middle of the forest, he still had a signal or something. Maybe that's what it was.
And that's not
It's like,
true. That's not AT&T at all.
No, it's not. That's not even true at all. So, yeah. Anyway, we should probably wrap this up.
Yeah.
Is Mike still here?
I haven't heard from him in a while.
Maybe he fell asleep. I don't know. Wake up, Mike. Anyway, Junae, any shout-outs, plugs, anything you want to mention to folks on the way out?
I don't. Continue to follow me on YouTube. I need a lot of help on my YouTube. Just people watching, and if it's not interesting, tell me why it's not interesting. My feelings are gonna be hurt. I'm not gonna lie to you and be like, my feelings are gonna be hurt. No, they will, because I put my heart into this content all the time. But like, if people tell me why it's interesting or why it's not interesting, and I keep hearing the same thing, I will definitely make it change. But like, creating content's so freaking hard, man. Because if you don't come with like a big name, people not trying to see it. They're not going to click on it. They're not going to think twice. If it's not something that captivates them in 3 seconds,
Yeah.
I've been getting better at it, and like taking clips of my promos or taking clips of my videos and turn them into promos. Like, probably the funniest segment I had, or when like I made a cheesy joke, and I'll post that. But definitely continue looking at my YouTube. And I changed my streaming schedule because I was doing the most. I was streaming every day at 11 a.m. Then I would get off by 4. Then I would hop back on at 11 p.m. and then get off at who knows when. And then hop back on the next morning at 11 a.m. Monday through Friday. I'm not doing that no more.
Man.
It's a lot of streaming.
It was a lot of streaming, and there's no point of burning myself out. I play the games that I like. So
No, all Fortnite, Junae. All Fortnite. That's all you can play is Fortnite. Fortnite and Minecraft.
I tried
Two choices.
so hard. I tried so hard to get into Fortnite, and I was like, I don't like it. And I didn't like it because I didn't purchase the story, right? So then I didn't have time to practice, and by the time I'd be in the game practicing, I get shot. And so it was frustrating because then you have to go back out to the lobby and do it all over again.
There's a story.
But yeah, there's a story where the storm expands.
Mm-hmm.
Or wait, the storm gets smaller and you're fighting zombies. Another thing that I noticed is that on YouTube and Twitch, Fortnite is beating FIFA on YouTube and League of Legends on Twitch, which like nothing has really broken League of Legends viewership. And it's been like that for like a good week or so. I just thought that was really interesting, but I'm also wondering if this Fortnite craze will fade out. Plus, a lot of other companies like Call of Duty are picking up that battle royale. So will we see a lot of those games come forth like we did where everyone was in space and fighting aliens? We went through that period. And so I wonder if the battle royale storm is coming up for that, and how long before it kind of dismisses, because I feel like people got bored with H1Z1, and there's a whole competition. There's a whole competition last year at Twitch, or maybe that's just a community that I don't follow, so I don't see the magnitude of it, but I'm always hearing about Fortnite. So that's not a shout out. That was
It's whatever you want it to be.
yeah.
It's fine.
But yeah, I'm just wondering, and I'm kind of hoping it'll end and the only reason why I'm kind of hoping for Fortnite's downfall is because they're not giving credit where credit is due.
The dances.
And it's gonna sound funny, but I'm all here for biting people's swag, swagger jacking people when you're PUBG to Fortnite and PUBG is mad because you're doing it better. Like, they didn't need to reinvent the wheel, but they put their own element in there. And if you change anything 40 to like 60%, it's not plagiarism. My degree tells me that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's something that I learned. Like, if you change it, it's not. And so the fact that they were mad about that, I was like, yeah, but like, y'all companies shouldn't care. Like, they're bringing in the money anyway. But the dances, it's just another, I don't even know if I can call it appropriation. It probably is, but and I don't know if it's less so cultural appropriation and it's just like, Black people came up with the dances and they're not showing that type of respect. But it's not like you're stealing from Black culture. You're stealing from these artists who also happen to be Black. And, you're taking credit for it and you're not being like, oh, yeah, I saw that. And I don't think there's anything wrong with dressing up something that they made, as long as you pay homage to it, So that's just been my only issue, and the masses of Fortnite doesn't care about that. But like a lot of the people that I follow care about that. I can't be like, oh yeah, Black people care about that, because like, who knows? Maybe some of them are like, yeah, I just want to play the game and do the dances. But when you're making money off of Fortnite dance classes,
that's
have you seen that?
That's a thing.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Somebody's making money off of teaching little kids to shoot, dance, and all this other stuff. Like, yeah. So it's only, that's when it gets frustrating. Otherwise, like, I don't care. Like, I don't care. Like, Fortnite seemed real cool, and it's helping out a lot of like Black women gamers that I know. But like, at the same time, you can't keep stealing from people. Like, I feel like this is the age to call people out on their BS. Just like the Me Too movement is doing. Just like people are trying to do with like Telltale. Just like people need to say something about Fortnite and hold people accountable. Just like, I'll give you a little news. I don't know if you knew, Twitch is getting rid of communities.
I did see that on Twitter.
Black Girl Gamers and the Cookout, which is for people of color streamers to like come together and play, have reached out to Twitch and been like, yo, you can't do that. And Twitch is like, well, we understand how, if our communities did something that we didn't think they would do, and they helped you guys, pretty much grow your community. Mm-hmm. And so
so that's how we're getting rid of it. Like, what is the?
They're swiping it. They're getting rid of it because it wasn't helpful for the masses. It was helpful for the 1%. And they're like, oh, we see y'all, but like, it doesn't matter, and what they wanted communities to do. I don't think they've ever given that clear answer about it, but they're coming out with these tags and stuff like that. But they're in charge of making the tags. Like, we were in charge and we could make Black Girl Gamers and then add people to it. But that never stopped trolls. Like, no joke. Like, that never stopped people from coming in and being how they are. And like, at some point, that's fine. Like, no, being harassed isn't okay, but you're gonna get targeted when you'll be like, this is what I am. And Twitch gets to make the tags now, and so I can be like, tag, esports, tag Street Fighter, stuff like that. Tag maybe Black Girl Gamer, but someone has to decide on the tags. Or like, if enough people submit a tag, I think they'll release the tag. But what is stopping people from using that tag for even LGBTQ plus and harassing people? Nothing. As for like the communities, you got to be in charge and be like, no,
police it yourself. Yeah.
So yeah, it's a little crazy, man. I'm really in, and I hate to always have my fro so big with my leather and my pick and my fist up, but it's like, it feels like that's what you got to do for injustice on the daily, and be like, y'all can't do that, this is wrong. And then a part of me always wants to be helpful, but then a part of me always feels like, I'm a sell out and be like, be like kind of quiet for a little bit and then try to like dismantle it from the inside. But I never get that close because my mouth is too big.
Kaboom.
Because when I see this, I'm like, you can't do that. Like, I literally turn into a little kid and I'm like, you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't do that. And it's never a good look. So, shout out to Black Girl Gamers, Thumbstick Mafia, Cookout. Go follow them. They're a lot of cool people. We got some Discords going for that. So, like, if you're a woman of color, the Cookout and Thumbstick Mafia would love to have you a part of your community. If you're a Black Girl Gamer, you can go into BGG and all that good stuff. All that good stuff.
We'll all be in the show notes. Okay.
Yep.
Who is next?
Sounded like Mike might have come back.
Yeah, I wasn't sure where I was, but then I realized, oh my goodness, it's late and I'm tired and I need to go to bed. So
Go to sleep. Sleep is good.
yeah, you got it. I will take your advice. But in the meantime,
Have you, dog?
some kind of a shark leg or arm or something needs to be riveted back on. So don't follow that thing. Don't have a shark for a pet. It's a terrible idea.
What are we
That
talking
makes
about?
sense.
What are you? Mike, are you fully awake?
Probably not.
Okay.
Okay.
Something
So-
about a Jaws.
Have your
Fish.
dogs spayed or neutered.
Donate blood.
Donate blood.
You
Right,
got
bud?
it. Absolutely.
Okay.
I don't know where we are.
Hey, I'll throw this out there. We are like a month away from game day, a little over that for Extra Life. So hey, go
Like-
support
like
your local.
The normal game day. It's not
The
our
global,
game day.
yeah, the global day of play. Let's call it November 3rd. So hey, go to extra-life.org and sign up. Support your local Children's Miracle Network hospital. Or if you want to join our team, go to extra-life.org/team/GameEnthus. And since we started in 2011, we've raised over $51,000 for
That's a lot of money.
our local hospitals. So yeah. So
And I get all the credit. Thank you. That's
you 100% to the founder of GameEnthus. So
that's how
yeah,
that works.
So yeah, go check that out. Support your local Children's Miracle Network hospitals. Raise money and play some games. Have a great excuse to play some games. So I don't think I'm at anything anytime soon. So I'll be at Mindfair in 2.5 weeks or something. But we'll record before that. Anyway, Aaron, what about you, bro?
All right. Thank you, Junae, for jumping on again and giving us some of your time. We appreciate it.
Of course.
Discussions are always good. Have all your stuff in the show notes. Folks can follow you and see what you are up to. For those who jumped into the chat, appreciate it as always. For the listeners, thank you for tuning in again. And if you want to leave us feedback, you can always send us an email at podcast@GameEnthus.com. Tiny415 at GameEnthus, Lawsuit at GameEnthus, or Aaron at GameEnthus. You get the idea. Oops, hitting my microphone.
I do that all the time, and I've wondered, like, if it sounds terrible, because mine is right here, and I'll do something, and I'll be like, smack, and I'm like, oh.
I can't judge anybody else. I do it so frequently, so it's all good. Leave a voicemail at 202-573-7686. And like Junae said, also check out the GameEnthus YouTube. I know it hasn't been updated quite as much, but life happens. But there's still like 900 videos that can be viewed. So yeah, check those out. And yeah, I think that's about it.
I've never heard of people leaving a voicemail. Like, I've never heard you have a number. I think that's very Magic School Bus-esque, and I like it. I do.
Yeah, I mean, we get voicemails from time to time.
That's awesome.
And we enjoy them when we do get them. All right. I guess that's it. Junae, any final words before we get out of here?
No, bye. I dropped my sausage on my pizza earlier. So that's why I look sad. So I just dropped it, and I just kind of sat there for a moment. And then my dog came and ate it. I couldn't find it because I was like, yo, I know I just dropped a Pete. You know what? Don't ask me any more questions.
Duly noted. Everybody, have a good night.
Sounds good. Later.